me because I'm gay?
What? No.
That's not cool, man. That is really insensitive, bro.
I didn't punch him because he's gay. I punched him, and then he's happened to turn out to be gay afterward.
I was gay when you punched me.
My name's Jeff.
I see you, enemy. I see you, enemy. Enemy! Enemy! You are my enemy! And I swear total resistance to you with everything I've got. Disingenuous, fake, false, broke back, twisted, a defiler, a betrayer, a backstabber, a devil! You will pay. Yeah, you think I don't see your face, scum? You don't think I don't see you? I see you, you understand me? I know what you think of me and my family. I see you right back. You understand that? You understand that? You will fall! You will not bring humanity down! God is going to destroy you! Yeah. Why'd you open it? Get it now. Why'd you open it? Get it now. Get it now. Yeah. Why'd you open it? Get it now. Why'd you open it? Why'd you open it? Get it now. Why'd you open it? Get it now. Why'd you open it? Get it now. 40-pound box of rape. Don't open it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. I think it's over. I think we totally won. Mission accomplished or something like that. But we have got lots of fun stuff to talk about. Tomfo, hope you're doing well out there. Excited for your next video. Last one was an absolute banger. This mofo is out there live tweeting his dates as if it's some sort of sports ball event. Absolutely wild. Yeah, no mommy voice to start out the stream, simply because I forgot. And for no other reason than I forgot. So, no mommy voice to start out with the monologue. We still, of course, have the war in Iran. We've got big bombs being dropped, whether it was a Moab or a MOP. We're not entirely sure yet. People claiming there was a mini nuclear device, which is actually has a smaller output than the Moab dropped in Iran today. Probably just in Moab, though. We're a mob. We've got all sorts of ships on fire near Iran. We've got the oil fields on fire. And simultaneously, as all of this is going on in the background, we have Trump appointing Erica Kirk to the Air Force Academy Board, and endorsing, checks notes, Jake Paul. Yeah, so that's politics for today. That's super fun. Then of course we have, sir, a third Tisha, a fourth Tisha, a fifth Tisha, whatever it might be. Your $1,200 suppressor, sir, doesn't mount to a gun. So that's super nice, super cool. It's not cracked, but it is completely broken. So we'll get into that as well. The greatest rifle of all time, the Geisley Mod 1A, which is sitting behind me, which we'll talk about that. We'll talk about real guns. We'll talk about the U.S. military selecting their new standard issue hand grenades. Masterpiece Arms is making a Tech 9? Okay, all right, fair enough, fair enough. And then a menagerie of rage bait, pedo, tranny things happening in politics and in the world in general. But before we get into that, Richard, how's your night going, bro?
Good. I survived the storm last night. I know that there was a lot of people who lost a lot of stuff last night. A lot of homes got flattened. So if you guys could say a prayer for all of them.
Absolutely. To anybody in Indiana or anywhere where there is inclement weather, I had a gentleman sending me photos of the tornado that was near his place, and he was very lucky. I didn't have his place ruined, but a lot of people have lost homes, lives, property damages, all of the above, right? So pray for those in need, and if there's anything that we can do to help, feel free to reach out. But yeah, it's a little rough out there for some of you guys.
Yep. Yeah, it was a rough night, but we made it through.
Yep. All right. Many such nights that we've had. All right. Now, the first thing is, of course, Charlie Cox posting, and he was the first person to post this that I saw that was relevant. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to steal his. Same vibe, like 20 years, more than 20 years apart at this point. Mission accomplished. We're done. We had a little excursion in the Middle East. We spent $3 billion a day to fight the war, but now it's totally over. It's not over. But yeah, mission accomplished or something like that. So let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won. But they gave me a list of names that, you know, sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name.
That's the most boomer thing I've ever heard in my life.
Just the fact that
Fury is
he's
the name of the attack. These names are so lame. Give me a good name. Epic Fury.
the fact that he's just nonchalantly talking about the name of a war where people are going off to die, and he's joking about it like he's falling asleep.
Yeah. Well, oil prices today, I checked just before the stream. I think it's back up to about $92 a barrel, which was down from its high of like 120. But it is definitely going to go up. It's up to $93 a barrel as of right now. It did crash in a little bit of shenanigans. I believe that the EU and a few other places have promised 400 million barrels of oil, something like that. That number might be off by a factor of 10, but they've promised a bunch of oil to try and keep the prices down so that we don't have a massive spike again. Although, as we'll get into, there are going to continue to be issues in the Strait of Hormuz, in Iran, and all of the Gulf countries. Where they have oil, they will be hit, and they are continuing to be hit currently as we speak. Now, some of the more interesting footage that's come out today is that this is a absolutely wild explosion west of Tehran in one of the smaller cities, Qom, is how you pronounce that, I guess. So it's either the massive ordnance penetrator, which is the big boy. I think that one there can only be dropped by the B2s or the B21s, but the B21s technically aren't in operation yet, as far as we're aware. And or the Moab, which can only be used by the C5s or the special C130s, right? Those are the ones, because that bomb is just so large and has to be dropped by a parachute. But either way, we are using these huge munitions in Iran currently to try and hit, I imagine, their underground facilities. Because if you're not familiar, they have domestic production of their drones and of their missiles. However, they are underground and they are under mountains. So you can level Tehran, you can level a lot of their major cities. It doesn't really affect them all that much because they can maintain drone production and they can maintain missile production as long as they have the raw materials to keep doing so, because you simply can't hit the factories.
One
Now,
of the
hopefully-
benefits of
Good.
the Moab is it's a ground ordnance penetrator that's got like I forget how much tungsten in the nose of it. It's designed to penetrate and then detonate, which then causes essentially miniature earthquakes, which are meant to cause structural integrity issues with caves or tunnel systems or things leading in and out of these facilities. So,
right. Well, so the MOP is, I think, 30,000 pounds, which is the bigger one. And then the Moab is actually like 23,000 pounds. So it's a little bit lighter, but I think it's just larger. And they're have a little bit different profile of what they actually do. The point being, both of them can reach like 200 feet underground, which is immense, right? That is a huge distance underground. I mean, have a facility that low. I don't know how low Iran's not nuclear facilities, but could also be nuclear facilities as well, but their drone or missile production factories, how far underground they are. Do we know exactly where they are, or are we just pretty sure about where they are? Either way, if we can knock them out with Moabs and MOPs, that would be helpful, of course, because the only other option, if we can't take them out via air ordnance, would be nuclear or feet on the ground. And neither one of those is preferable for a variety of reasons. And another scary element to that is if Iran just continues to hit Israel, their interceptors are not working particularly well. It's like 1 in 5, 1 in 6 actually hits. And once those are depleted, they're gone, and they're very hard to replenish. They're very expensive to replenish. So as long as Iran can maintain some level of production of missiles, it's never really going to stop. They don't really have to stop sending them over, you know. And Israel will run out, and all the Gulf neighboring countries, of course, and all the U.S. military bases over there will all run out of interceptors before Iran runs out of missiles, unless they can stop the flow. So it is not a war of attrition that you can really win unless you can take these factories down. But we do have the footage of one of these in action. Now, what's funny, people were speculating, I saw some people running with it, that this was a mini nuke, like a 15 kilogram or a kiloton, whatever the number is, a warhead, which is actually really, really small. And what's funny is that the Moab has a higher output than some of these mini nukes. So while it's not a mini nuke, even though it has the mushroom cloud and some of the other characteristics, it's more powerful than some of the mini nukes that are out there. And again, designed to penetrate and hit underground, but an absolutely massive explosion. I think we used these like a decade ago, and people were freaking out about it because again, there's very few of them, and they're so expensive to produce. In fact, I don't even know if we're still producing any of these. Maybe the MOPs, but not the Moabs. But we don't have a lot in service. I think at one point we only ever manufactured like 12 of them. Task Force Tater says he lost $30,000 betting on a horse named Mini Nuke in 2013. How does one accomplish such a feat, losing $30,000? That's wild. That's gamble maxing right there, dude. You got odds mogged. Losing 30,000. I mean, hey, at least you had 30 grand to lose. I guess that's The silver lining there, a lot of us have never been able to gamble $30,000. That's wild.
Well, the sad part is he might not have.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, probably. We're like, hey, we got like 12 Moabs sitting around for like 20 years. We probably need to actually just use these things. And Iran has a bunch of facilities underground and we kind of know where they are. But again, does Iran have more manufacturing facilities than we have Moabs, right? Or we have MOPS, right? Can we actually take them all out, or will they maintain some domestic production? Because again, in a war of attrition, it's, do you have enough munitions to make us stop throwing missiles? And if you don't, then we're just going to keep doing it, you know. Now, moving on from there to some of the other issues in the region right now, you have, this is, according to an Iraqi report official, 2 foreign tankers carrying Iraqi fuel and oil were attacked within the territorial waters of Iraq within the last hour, causing both to catch fire in the Persian Gulf. A total of 25 crew members on board the vessels have been evacuated so far by authorities. And you can see, once again, that oil tanker is gone. Not a ton of mines. I mean, we're talking maybe a few hundred or a few thousand. So, like, it's a minefield over a huge stretch of area. However, if you're a shipping company, why shipping has essentially stopped. There's probably a couple trying to make it through. They've even asked Trump for military escort, and Trump has said no. That, and the war escalates to an entirely another level. So, fortunately, as of right now, we are not putting our soldiers in harm's way. By tanks are full. Once their reservoirs are full, they have to cut production. There's no other alternative. If they don't have a place to store the oil, to the brim. And so now sending drones, which we're about to look at, makes them a very prime target. Now, this is actually some of the damage from a ship that got hit by an unmanned vessel earlier today. Early Wednesday morning, the Thai flagged bulk cargo ship, the Mayu Nari, was struck aft by an Iranian uncrewed surface vessel, so like some sort of water drone, I imagine, while attempting to transit the Strait of Hormuz against the demands of the IRGC. The explosion caused a large hole to be blown in the aft port side of the ship, as well as several fires on board, with 20 Thai crew members being rescued by the Royal Navy of Oman. 3 crew members remain missing as of the evening on Wednesday. Now, this is a big boy shipping vessel, and you can see here that whatever drone hit it didn't make that big of a hole, and it might still be seaworthy at some level. But all of that cargo, whatever was on there, the ship itself, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, is now stuck, just sitting there. And this is why shipping companies are not too hot. Yeah, any minute now, dude. Yeah, no repair crews are getting sent in. It's sitting there, and whatever cargo it may have had, or whatever cargo it was going to go pick up, is stuck there, right? And so these companies are losing a lot of money. Now, earlier today as well, this is from the bridge of a container ship. Insane image from the bridge of a container ship arriving at the port of Salah in Oman earlier today, as flames engulf multiple port facilities and oil tanks at the Mina Petroleum facility, resulting from several impacts by one-way drones launched by Iran. So this is a container ship here to ostensibly pick stuff up in port, and the port is on fire because, again, these things make perfect targets. Here you can actually see video of a one-way drone on its way in. I don't know if they just don't have interceptors or some sort of defense system here, or they're out, or they just didn't think that they could reach, whatever it might be. But here you can see a one-way drone making its way in. Great camera work by the guy.
Cameraman had one job.
Yeah, just pointed at the very obvious target, but you can see they're just going to send them to your reservoir tanks and blow them up, like, obviously, of course. And you have these guys in the port, guys in the harbor, and there's nothing you can do but sit there and watch it happen. And
I like how they didn't get panicked until after the impact actually occurred. It's like, you know what's about to happen. It's like watching a train wreck. You can't do anything, and then once it happens, you panic.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, because they're like, oh, shoot, they're going to start targeting everything. Now, probably they're not going to be targeting ships as a whole with drones, because I'm pretty sure the drones are pre-targeted, right? They're fire and forget. So that makes sense against stationary targets, not against targets that could be moving, unless, of course, it's, moored or anchored or something like that. But obviously, a large oil field makes a lot of sense to hit because it's stationary, it's large, and they're all basically full to the brim right now because, again, the oil can't get out, so it's just filling up reservoir tanks. And now what I mentioned earlier, this is from Mr. Guns and Gear, but essentially here you have in Israel, no, this is another oil depot in the UAE, sorry. They have interceptors here, and they launch 6 of them at one Iranian missile. Keep in mind that the Iranian missile costs like 150 grand, 100 grand, and the interceptors cost 1.5 million each, and they only have a success rate somewhere between 10 and 20%. So they launch a bunch of interceptors at one Iranian missile. And as you're about to see, those are all interceptors being launched by the UAE. And they all just miss. So it's like every single one of those interceptors that goes up is $1.5 million. And that is a cheapo missile heading towards its target, which is, again, a oil field in the UAE right now. So kind of a bit of an oof, it doesn't make economic sense, and it doesn't make logistical sense because, one, obviously it's way more expensive to produce our interceptors that don't always work, again, 10 to 20% success rate, versus their cheap one-way missiles. And also they can produce, as far as we can tell, more than we can produce of interceptors. So all of the Gulf countries, all of our military bases, we're spending not only the money, but also the physical stockpile of our interceptor munitions. And at some point, that just runs out. As it gets lower and lower, Israel said that they have to escalate. If we have to escalate, that means either, again, more Moabs, more MOPS, nuclear option, or boots on the ground, all of which are not great. And if there is some sort of stand down from President Trump, is Israel going to follow a stand down order? Because if Israel doesn't follow a stand down order, right, or a ceasefire, if they just keep, shooting into Iran, Iran's going to keep sending missiles at everybody. So until Israel stops, we're all just along for the ride, I guess. Here's another picture of an oil field on fire. I believe this is the same one we saw earlier get hit by the one-way drone, and then now the entire place is on fire, which is great. Massive fires continue to burn into the night at the port of Salah in Oman, with the blaze caused by Wednesday's drone attack against the port by Iran having now spread to most, if not all, of the oil takes at the MENA petroleum facility. So again, this is the whole thing up in flames. We saw one impact earlier, but again, they just keep sending them in. And the Sahi drones, the one-way drones, they're slow, but they're hyper efficient. They have like an 800-kilometer range. They cost $40,000. They cost less than a Toyota Tacoma from 2013, and they can take out millions or billions of dollars worth of infrastructure in a single hit, right? And so while oil prices have come down from the high of $120, I would not expect that price to stay stable. If I were a betting man, I would expect that price to continue to go up, even if we get supplemental oil from our own reserves or from the European Union or some of these other places. I don't know how that price doesn't go up, even if the conflict ends tomorrow, because of just the raw infrastructure damage that's happening. And the longer it keeps going, the longer it drags on, oil prices necessarily have to go up, right? And I mean, maybe you could argue that Venezuelan oil is supposed to be supplementing all of this and counteracting what we're getting out of the Gulf, but I don't know if that is going to be able to keep pace. I'll turn that down.
I do find it conveniently timed that right after we take possession of one of the largest reserves of oil, this kicks off.
Well, maybe that was planned, right? Like, hey, we know if we start a war in Iran, we're
that
going
was
to
100%.
lose 30-40% of our oil. Why don't we take out Maduro first, and then now we have their oil, and we can supplement that if things get dicey in the Middle East, which they appear to be getting dicey. So again, keep in mind that Trump, as all the oil fields are burning, as the ships are getting hit, as the strait is shut down, he's like, I'm pretty sure we've won, guys. I'm pretty sure it's over. And again, I don't think that is quite the case. Now, in another development, how about 9/11 2? 9/11 2 coming to a coastal city near you, specifically a West Coast near you. Uh, the FBI has warned police departments in California that Iran could launch a retaliatory attack against the U.S. West Coast using drones, per ABC News. And again, this is Kaguya's top gal now dropped 9/11 Part 2 on California, so the Goyim want us to keep bombing Iran. BB, listen. If you do 9/11 2.0 and you take out LA, San Diego, I'm not actually going to be that upset, you know, right? I'm not going to be, I mean, it's like, oh, damn it. Like 4 good people died, you know, like Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh no, that's terrible. Don't hit Detroit next. Chicago? Oh no. New York too? Damn. What about DC? You missed DC. You know, it's like, I don't know if that's going to have the desired effect you think it's going to have. Yeah, so the alert said that the FBI recently acquired information, of course, of a potential surprise attack. Iran aspired to do this using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast. Like, does Iran have subs? Are they just going to like try and hijack a shipping freighter or like a regular? Because you can launch these things from just about anything. If you have a big enough boat, you could launch 40, 50, I mean, hundreds of drones potentially, right? Offshore. So as long as you sneak them onto a boat, a shipping container, something like that, you could theoretically get them off the coast, right?
Yeah,
Battle
fishing vessels, even some fishing vessels that store the nets below deck, they have enough cargo area to fit a lot of these drones.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking if you're going to send like 4 drones, is that going to be any more deadly than a regular weekend in Oakland? You know, it's like if you want to send a message, you're going to drop like hundreds of drones or something like that. That would be my guess. I'm thinking Black Ops 2 here, okay? I'm thinking wall of a black sky of drones coming in. That's not really what's going to happen, but I mean, yeah, you could get a couple drones in like that, but I'm thinking if it's going to be big, it should be like a shipping container or a ship, you know, one of those big ships that they either hijack or they sneak on board or something like that.
Black drones commit 60% of the damage.
Chinese shipping containers, yeah. I mean, it could be something like that, right? Absolutely. 2, they aspire to do this using an unidentified vessel off the coast. Targets are quote unquote unspecified, but expected to be in California. Again, what are they going to hit in California that we care about? Like
naval bases.
Yeah, naval bases, like naval targets, like that would be about it, right? Yeah, I wonder if it's funny though, because we are spending so many of our interceptors over there. Like, what do we have? Are we depleting them from other critical areas? You know, so that's possibly a wise counterattack from a geopolitical or a strategic position, right? Because if your enemy is using all of their interceptors here, but we just attack them in a different spot where they're pulling interceptors away from, right? Could be possible. Spokeswoman, sorry, I almost said spokesperson. For the FBI office in LA declined to comment. Oil prices are now up over 6% today. And I think, yeah, it's about 5%. It's still at about $92 for WTI crude as of right now. Expect that to rise, though. And again, just more of the same. FBI says the FBI has warned numerous police departments in California that Iran may seek to retaliate for recent U.S. attacks by potentially launching offensive drones targeting the West Coast. Now, if you wanted to prevent all of this in the first place, or if you want to save a little bit on gas, there was a very helpful tips here. So check your tires. Number 1, you want to make sure your tires are full so you're not including drag. Number 2, you want to drive a little bit slower, of course, so you can make that engine run a little bit more efficient, save a little bit of fuel. Avoid lots of starts and stops, right? So avoid the cities if you can help it. Get rid of extra weight. Yep. Got to lose some pounds, fatty. Maybe you should take that money that you're no longer saving on gas, and you should put that towards a gym membership. All right, lose some weight. And number 5 here, don't go to war just because Israel tells you to. That one there would also definitely have fixed gas prices in the long run. I think that one might actually be the most important one on that list. Even Patriot missiles are low. We made like 57 last year. I've been told it's really bad, really bad. And again, we looked on, was it Redoubt the other day or one of the other shows that I was on, where for years now, these guys have been complaining that our own internal production of interceptors, of missiles is dangerously low. And if we get into a conflict with somebody like China, we have enough to last like 2 months. And China's got a lot more soldiers than we have missiles, right? So that's the problem there. All right. Well, now this is cool. While we're going to be paying higher gas prices, this is, I believe, the first time we have seen, or we have footage of, this is one of the new B-21s, which is technically not operational yet, at least as far as we're aware, even though it could have potentially been the plane that dropped the bomb, the Moab or the MOP, earlier today in Tehran. We're not sure, but this is one of the new B-21 receiving in-flight fuel, and I believe this is the first time we've actually seen one of those things refueling in flight. If you don't know, the B-21 is the new and improved B-2. It's a little smaller, it's a little lighter, it's way more efficient, it's way less expensive, and it can actually fit in regular hangars, unlike the B-2. So it's the new replacement. It's also much stealthier, although I'm not sure how much that matters in Iran right now. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, do they even have radar capabilities left?
Well, it doesn't even matter if they have radar capabilities, because our F-18 Growlers, the E-18 Growlers, they just did you? Somebody was saying, I think this was in the Discord earlier, that China had a bunch of sales to all these countries for their radar systems, and they all canceled them after the debacle in Iran, because it really doesn't matter what radar system you have if we can jam it effectively, and we can jam it very effectively. So, yeah, good luck on that. Good luck on that. Yeah, no one has radar.
I did drop something in the private chat there for you on the side, if you wanted to take a look at that. It's a F-16E firing an air-to-air missile at a Shahed drone over the UAE.
Sure. Okay. I mean, we saw the Shahed drones are really slow. Like, they don't go that fast. So we saw Apaches getting air-to-air kills before F-22s, you know. Their 20 mil cannons were working really well on them. So it's actually like helicopters are a pretty good deterrent for the slow Shahed style drones.
This is civilian recorded cell phone footage of an Iranian one-way UAV that was flying very low over Al Mamzar Beach in Dubai in the UAE. In the video, you can see the one-way UAV flying pretty low over the water, likely to evade radar detection, and right behind it was a United Arab Emirates Air Force F-16 Echo that then pulled into frame in hot pursuit of this UAV and fired an air-to-air missile that's widely been identified as an AIM-9X Sidewinder, which is a heat-seeking short-range missile that's optimized for close-range engagements. Check this out.
Dude, those are so close, you could almost shoot those.
Yeah.
Like small arms fire, almost.
लो जी लाइव ड्रोन आया, एक फट गया, एक दान लगा, जो लगा है ना वो ये देखो, नहीं ये प्लेन है, ये प्लेन है, ये प्लेन है, ये प्लेन है, ये प्लेन।
Now the UAE Ministry.
Ah, damn it. They don't even show the explosion, or probably didn't catch it on there.
Yeah, it was too far away by that point, but...
Yeah, but you can see that they've detected and intercepted a bunch of these, but keep in mind, the cost per interception of one of the Shahed drones is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And of course, this is from the UAE. Do I trust their own personal numbers? Not really. You know, not really. All right. Now, in response to all of this, in response to rising oil prices, in response to Strait of Hormuz being shut down, in response to our low storage of all of these critical munitions, Donald Trump has appointed Erica Kirk as to the U.S. Air Force Academy Board of Visitors recently. The Board of Visitors inquires into the morale, discipline, curriculum, instruction, physical equipment, fiscal affairs, academic methods, and other matters relating to the academy, which the board decides to consider. No formal announcement has been made. However, Erica Kirk's name now appears on the website as a member of the board. Why though? I mean, I know that she has credentials because she
She oh wait, I do have something for this. Where is it?
Yeah, that's what we needed. That's what we needed right now. But in other news as well, I got to get to this. This is also good. Do you have something you want to share before we move, Richard? Or are you good?
I can't find it. I had the "We Are Charlie Kirk" as a sounder on my new soundboard. I was going to play it for a second.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, but hey, listen, okay, Charlie Kirk, great man. Erica Kirk, wife. Therefore, board of directors on this panel for some reason. But also, if that wasn't enough for you to gain back your trust in the administration, knockout endorsement today at a rally in Kentucky. President Trump welcomes Jake Paul on stage during a Kentucky speech, saying he would endorse the YouTuber turned boxer if he decides to run for public office in the future.
Yeah, what Mr. Trump has taught me is courage. You know, we never back down from a fight, even if they're much bigger than you, much, much bigger than you. And I feel all the local Kentuckians feel the same way. You guys have that fight. You guys have that swag. There's a lot of young kids in here, the future of America. I grew up just a few hours away from here, and my dad taught me to fight. And all of our
young man, like listen, Jake Paul's career in boxing, he's fought some real people. He's fought some old invalids as well. You were a Disney kid. Like, you grew up in a mansion, my dude. I don't know if you identify with the average Kentuckian. You know what I'm saying?
voices matter in America, and I'm never afraid to speak the truth, and I know you guys aren't. We are here representing the United States, and it's just a blessing. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We need more factories like this thriving all over the country, and I know he's going to be the one to bring that here to us. I know God is with us. I know he wants us on the right side of history.
A Red Head says, we just keep taking bigger and bigger steps towards Idiocracy being a documentary every day. Yes, we've got reality TV star and Disney child star turned elder abuse victim Jake Paul endorsed. You know, it's just, that is the wombo combo we need in 2026. And keep in mind, while he's saying that we won the oil the oil platforms there, the petroleum rigs out there on fire, also fantastic, wonderful. And today, you know, it's Donald Trump and Jake Paul wombo combo. Okay, it's got all you need in a day. Now, if that wasn't enough winning for you, don't worry, because it doesn't stop there. President Trump stuns the world by announcing a $300 billion deal. For the first time in 50 years, we are opening a U.S. oil refinery, and it will be in Brownsville, Texas. This is huge. Just you wait. All right. America is returning to real energy dominance. Today, I am proud to announce that America First Refining is opening the first new U.S. oil refinery in 50 years in Brownsville, Texas. This is a historic $300 billion deal, the biggest in U.S. history, a massive win for American workers. American workers. Keep that in mind for just a moment. Energy and the great people of South Texas. Thank you to our partners in India and their largest privately held energy company, Reliance, for this tremendous investment. Oh, And it's because of our America First agenda, streamlining permits for Indian energy companies.
I guess Brownsville was a little bit more on the nose than what we
It's
realized.
really on the nose. Yeah, so this is a huge win for Indians in Brownsville. This country is an effing joke. And I saw Vintage reply to that. So, of course, that's what I wanted to comment on. Yeah, this is big news for H-1B workers to come and get a foothold in this country in Texas, which is already turning into the armpit of the USA. It is going to be very, very bad there over the next 20 to 30 years because of investments like this. Like, if this were China, everybody'd be like, oh, this is a huge geopolitical mistake. We shouldn't be allowing this sort of investment into our own infrastructure by a foreign entity. It's like, yeah, it's the same thing with these people. We don't want them here. This is awful. This is going to be terrible for the average American worker. I don't care if it was $1 trillion of foreign investment that's going to be going overseas, that's going to be bringing in foreigners, that is already overrunning the state of Texas and most of the US at this point. Like, this is not a good thing. This is a bad thing. This is one of those things where it's like GDP go up, therefore good. By the way, your streets are no longer safe to walk on, and your towns smell like garbage, and you can't buy housing, and we're not hiring any Americans because we have to bring over our intellectual elite from India to get all this stuff set up and running. Yeah, number go up, therefore good. Speaking of numbers going up, though, what's been reported so far currently is that we have around 140 American troops so far injured, wounded in Operation APAC Fury, and 7 so far killed. Now, this number will undoubtedly go up as this drags on. If it escalates, which again, I'm not sure how it does not escalate. The only way it stops is if Israel says it's going to stop, because if Israel doesn't stop throwing things into Iran, then Iran is not going to stop throwing things into all of the Gulf countries, into American bases, into American ships, and of course into Israel as well. So it only stops when Israel says it stops. So far, roughly 140 American service members have been wounded, 8 severely in the first 10 days of Operation APAC Fury, the Pentagon confirmed on Tuesday. The vast majority of these injuries have been minor, and 108 service members have already returned to duty. Chief Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell said in a statement to Military Times, 8 service members remain listed as severely injured and are receiving the highest level of medical care. But this number is undoubtedly going to continue to rise. The death toll will continue to rise. The cost of your everyday living will undoubtedly go up. As your cost of living goes up, they're going to invest and bring in Indians into Texas to replace you, literally and figuratively, all while making your day-to-day life worse and while removing the best and brightest from among us.
I believe the death toll has already risen. It was at 6, and if I
It's at 7 now,
correctly,
if I remember correctly.
I was to say it's at 7 now, and there's an 8th one who is barely hanging on from the sounds of things. So,
well, if 8 are still in critical condition days on from the initial wave, then yes, there's a possibility that that number could go up. And again, if it goes nuclear, literally goes nuclear, the response will not be kind. And if it goes boots on the ground, we're going to see the numbers could be astronomical in comparison to what we have now. So Iran is not a place that you want to invade. There's 90 million people. There's allegedly, 200,000 people in the IRGC. There's, maybe 1 million conscripts that could be brought up. It's all mountainous, underground, foxhole nightmare type stuff. And if you're going to put
essentially Afghanistan on steroids.
Yes, with a much more technologically advanced Afghanistan, with a people that have been preparing for this for 30 years, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, also you don't have to believe the government either. The death toll could already be much higher, and they're just easing out the information as it goes, right?
Oh, almost certainly it's going to be much higher than what it is. I'm almost positive these numbers are being underreported.
Yeah, and I know that people have been claiming that more have died, but the official numbers are all that we have. You don't have to believe them. I don't have to believe them, but those are what we have as of right now. Well, that is the wrap up today of the Iran section. And, you know, it used to be like 15 minutes a week ago, and now it's up to like an hour of the show. So give it a month and it could be like the entire show going forward. All right. Moving forward, though, we are going to get into some actual gun news on a GunTube channel. What the heck? We have another Tisha that's dead. We got to talk about Geisley. We got to talk about the new U.S. standard issue grenade. We got to talk about MPA. Lots of fun stuff. But before we do, we're going to get to your guys' support and then move topics. Lightspore for 2 says, can we still bully Sass or did he jump yet? We don't bully people here because that's against YouTube's TOS. We would never bully people. We just kindly point out their moral inconsistencies. Thank you, Lightspore. Appreciate that. Logan, for $10, says it was a massive misunderstanding with Gold Chip. I did not intend for my comment to come across that way. Please forgive my ignorance. It won't happen again. Thank you, Logan. Sucks at shooting for that. Yes, you do still need to fill out the apology form when you get time, okay?
Because the restraining order is still in place.
Yes, you need to apologize to Gold Chip and to my eyes, honestly, for having to witness and to have the whole ordeal explained. I'm not going to explain it to the chat exactly what happened, but it was essentially Logan being a little missing the point and putting a weird gif in there, and just, you know, comedy ensues. Sam for 2 says Christ is king, and don't forget to pray for Dank. Yes, if you could say a prayer for Dank, his grandfather John has been diagnosed with, I believe, pancreatic cancer. So if you want to pray for him and his family, that would be much appreciated. Christ is king. Thank you very much, Sam. Appreciate you. Cody Fisher puts up the cross, base symbol. Christ is king. God bless. Hope you're having a good night out there, Cody. Doing real work. Hey, we got like 3 cool Codys in the gun industry. The rest of them are terrible, but we have at least 3 cool Codys as far as I'm aware. Amorite Boy for 2 says Leighton gayer than Brokeback Mountain. That's not very nice of you, sir. Damn. Doomer John for 5 says the stream that was promised to us 3,000 years ago, but ended up being late and gay. You got a problem with me being late to my own show, dude? It's like being late to your own funeral. Come on. Thank you, Doomer John. Zanico for 2 says, I'm here. You may begin. It's actually funny that as soon as you joined, that is when I started the stream. Thank you, Zanico. Modern Frontier Project for 2 has wonderful faces on, and I'm pretty sure it's because he's so excited that I was late. Now, while we're in the middle of the show here, and while we got a bunch of you here, I do want to drop the Rumble link, because tomorrow, at some point, there is going to be a Rumble exclusive stream. It's only going to be on Rumble. We're going to be talking about gun stuff. We're going to be going, like, so we can actually show guns on screen. We can handle guns live. We can do all the fun stuff. We can review videos. We can be a little bit more edgy. We can watch more cultured content, right, on Rumble. So I dropped the Rumble link in the YouTube live. So you want to be there for tomorrow. I'll post about it on YouTube and other places, but you should follow me on Rumble anyways, because you never know. Depending on how 2026 and 2028 goes, that could be it. That could be it for YouTube for guns. You never know. Everyday American for 5 says Erica Kirk is a lizard person that is profiting off of her husband's murder, but the Mossad and no simp can convince me otherwise. I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. It's not really my deal, you know? I think it's all sus, it's all fake, it's all gay, and Candace said it best.
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness.
I did find the Charlie Kirk sound effect, but I'm worried because it says loud as F.
Just play it. Play it. Didn't even come through. It was a little fuzzy. Everyday American for 5 says, keep all the politics and words the same. I bet if he sounded more like Obama or Clinton, it wouldn't sound nearly as cringe. The guy just can't speak. Are we talking about Trump? Trump could definitely talk. Like he's got the aura. He's got charisma. Like in 2016 when he was memeing on the rest of the Republicans, like he was doing a good job. And he's still got it sometimes. He's still a showman. Like his State of the Union is actually pretty good. He hard mogged the Democrats. You know, it's all smoke and mirrors, but I mean, he did a good job. Polly B for $20. Gotta get you something good for this one. Do we do the Jake's Dogs? Everybody loves the Jake's Dogs.
This a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey.
Trump is amazing. Usually, you have to make it to the third year of your second term to hit lame duck territory, but he's punching above his prodigious weight class, doing it 14 months into his second term. Top shelf stuff. Yeah, 20 listen, if it goes boots on the ground, hey, OG, hope you're having a good day out there. I tried to catch some of your stream yesterday before I went live. It was very entertaining. Yeah, 2026 is not going to go well. That's my guess. Everybody's been saying it, okay? That's not Nostradamus over here. It's not going to go well. Everyday American for 2 says the ordinance expires, might as well use it. That's a fair point. We got 12 of them. We might as well blow up some rat's nests, I guess. Thank you, Everyday American. Plus, it looks cool. Coppertone for 2 says N. Yeah. My favorite word, the N word. Big Slice says pool's closed. Pool's closed and you can't get in. Thank you, Big Slice. Hope you're doing well out there, sir. Everyday American for 5 says, what if the world just quit hauling oil from the region? The rest of the world has plenty to supplement the needs of the first world. Well, we already have all the infrastructure for the oil. We have all the transportation routes. We have all the shipping companies. We have all the political lobbying. We have all the economic weight, the economic momentum behind the region and getting the oil out of there. Plus, strategically, it does make sense to take somebody else's oil, hand them paper for it, right? Because paper at the end of the day is paper, right? It's like, would you trade all of your, money / paper for Chinese steel? We'll take all of your steel and you can have all of this paper. Because at the end of the day, the money's fungible, right? We can just do whatever the heck we want with it. The raw materials, though, very important. So strategically, it makes sense to extract raw materials. Thank you, Everyday American. Appreciate that. But yes, we do also have our own supply. Heathen from Texas for 5 says, apparently an hour ago, 2 ago, 3 oil tankers were hit by drone boats. And again, that does not surprise me at all. The Strait of Hormuz is only 10 miles. So, which is big. It's still a big stretch of water, of course. But when they're moving very, very slow and you have a couple of drones out there that can basically shut them down, it's not great. Thank you, Heathrow from Texas. Appreciate that.
He sent me
Polly,
the video for that.
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, in the private chat.
Is this... This is the same one we just watched.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. It's a slightly different angle, but it's the same thing. But no, I get it. The oil tanker's gone. And there will be more of them hit. That's why most of them have stopped moving oil at all. So the tanks are just going to fill up, the ships are going to be full, and they're just going to be sitting there, which costs money and time and makes it to where they have to stop producing the oil, right? They have to slow production down because they just can't get rid of it fast enough and they can't hold it. Polly for 2 says, Iran will be greeted as liberators. We will be greeted as liberators? I don't think so. I don't think that's how it's going to work. But maybe, if we hadn't bombed 160 school children, little girls, maybe our political position over there would have been more advantageous. As of right now, probably not. Thank you, Paulie B. Appreciate that. Just Some Space Cowboy for 5 says, Oto Malara is both crashing out and vindicated right now. Their Atomati and Draco use 76mm HEVT shells, 5 to 8K pre-rounds, and can hit targets at 6 kilometers. Yeah, no, if you have air defenses like small arms fire or stuff like this, like the miniguns or the Gatling, whatever they're called, can be very effective against those drones. Thank you, Space Cowboy. Appreciate that. CM Scar for 5 says, please send prayers. My pop's fight with cancer has taken a turn for the worse this week. I am very sorry to hear that, Mr. Scar. And yes, everybody say a prayer for his father, because cancer sucks, and losing loved ones also sucks. But it is a part of life. Thank you, Scar. We'll keep you in mind. Taunton Dogs for 2 says, I raced 4 people today on the highway. F gas prices. Yeah, that's how you know you're really living in luxury, is when you're driving like some absolute guzzler. All right, some like 8-liter diesel or something like that. That's what you're running, okay? That's the real sign of richness in the next few years. Thank you, Ton Dogs. Chud McGill for 2 says Gramps is in hospice, asking for prayers, gents. Damn, everybody's having rough times today with family. But yeah, thank you, Chud. I am very sorry to hear that. I hope that your grandpa knows that he's loved by you and your family, and that you get to spend some final moments with the man. He should be happy to have you. Thank you, Chud. Polly B for 2 says Texas is camp of the ain'ts. It's disgusting here. I am never impressed when I go to Texas. Let me put it that way. Thank you, Paulie B. Doomer John for 5 says, is this refinery optimized for Saudi oil like most of our refineries or American light sweet crude? I don't know. I just know that India is investing $300 billion and is undoubtedly going to be resulting in a lot of H-1Bs and other commitments that I dislike. Because, I mean, think about it. If they're investing $300 billion into the American economy, quote unquote American economy, there's definitely other dealings happening there that I don't appreciate. Thank you, Doomer John. Amrite Boy for 2 says, check chord for how the Ukraine is dealing with the Shahid. Let me pull this one. Yeah, it's F-16s. That's the same one we saw earlier, isn't it? Or is this in Ukraine? Let me pull this one up real fast. Interesting. Cody for 10 says, Oy vey, my friend. Oy vey. Oy vey to all my friends in chat right now. Thank you, Amrite Boy, for sending that, by the way. Thank you, Cody. Just Some Space Cowboy for 5 says, forget the war in Iran. We need your opinion on the tomboy war in the Discord. Well, what does it mean by tomboy? If we're going to have the tomboy discussion on the screen, do you just mean a girl who is not masculine, because masculine is not the right word, but she is maybe more outgoing, maybe enjoys more outdoor activities, isn't necessarily like uber feminine, right? Or what would be traditionally considered feminine, muscular. Like, so we're talking like muscle mommy or tomboy, who's just like a, I don't know, what's a good way to describe it? I don't know. I'll leave that up to the chat, their opinion on tomboys. Thank you, Justin Space Cowboy. But I think it's really just you just like girls with abs. I think that's your thing, Space Cowboy. Right? It's fine. It's all right. You know, you like girls with abs? It's your thing. It's fine.
I don't see anything wrong with that necessarily.
Girls with abs? No. I mean, it's like very difficult for a lot of women to get abs. So it shows a very, very high level of dedication to get that. So, Zanico for 2 says, if this gets 2 likes, I'm buying a 68 Tula AKM. Well, I guarantee you that got more than 2 likes. So good luck out there, Zany. Appreciate that. Enjoy that, because that's going to be quite expensive. Chud for 2 says, this stream needs a hero. Richard Mogdegassi. All right, thank you, Chud.
Okay, if you wish.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Thank you, Space Cowboy. I just saw it on Discord. Thank you, Chud. Appreciate that. Mike Moretti for 10 says, let me in the Discord. I've been here since you did a whole ass stream just dunking on FCD. Well, listen, Mike Moretti, maybe you should send somebody Mo messages to let you on, because again, we don't just hand out Discord invites to anybody. Come on, what type of operation do you think I run? Now, the Stoat, which is a Discord alternative, that I drop everywhere to everybody. So I just put that again in the YouTube chat and in the Rumble chat for everybody. That is Stoat. That is our public server that we're currently building out. But if you message me, I can help you out. Thank you, Mike Moretti. Appreciate it. The Ranger for 2 says, any prediction on ammo prices? Yeah, it gets worse. It always gets worse. Like, listen. All right. If oil prices get more expensive, that causes everything to get a little bit more expensive. If China shuts down shipment of a lot of the raw materials that we use for our ammunition here in the US, big problem. All right. If we use the Strait or the Gulf to get any ammo from like Turkey or some of these other places, you know, if any of it comes through there, well, that's also going to be problematic. So my guess is that even if China doesn't shut down the exportation of raw materials, you're still going to see somewhere between 5 and 10% increase. If boots go on the ground, you're going to see things go upside down real fast. That would be my guess. Thank you, Ranger. We are not, I want to be clear, we're not in panic buy territory, but we could be, just like a lot of things, if the U.S. announces a draft tomorrow, okay, we're in panic territory at that point. Everyday American for 10 says, might be a topic for a larger group on stream, but I think gun stores should be more discriminatory on who they sell to. I agree. I feel like they see more red flags than the government and just sell anyways. The gun store is the last line of defense, and they should be very discretionary. They should be profiling certain individuals who they should and should not sell to. Now, I would like to have that in a big group panel discussion, but absolutely. Absolutely. Like, think about it. If you're a gun store owner in a community, do you want to be selling to the guy that you know has problems, that you know has run-ins, that you know has made some comments about things that you don't appreciate, right? You should be an active member of your community and try to do the right thing. So, yeah. Thank you, Everyday American. I appreciate that. We need to get a panel on for some sort of topic in the future, so we'll try and get that set up. St. John's Crusade for 2 says, what is your go-to 5.56 range ammo? It is Fiocchi range dynamics that you can get from Shields for 50 cents a round, which is just, they just always have it. But recently I've been using the Frontier Hornady, their 55 grain 223, because I was able to pick it up for 43 cents a round. So I bought like 1,500 rounds of that. That's what I've been using last couple of range trips. It's fine. Nothing special. Thank you, St. John's Crusade. Appreciate you. Over on Ko-Fi, Subarctic Noticer says, on vacation with the fam, me and Blue Animal's balloon knots have both healed. This information came to me in a dream. Gonna help my brother buy his first gun, base, taking my son four-wheeling, mega base, and met a very impressive young Christian on the first flight, and Christ is King. It is always nice to meet somebody that is not a horrifying individual on a plane and to have like a good discussion for a while, to have a good talk for a while. So that's good. Christ is King. Thank you very much, Subarctic Noticer. Enjoy your vacation. Brush Okie for $20. Whoa. Masterpiece Arms Defender 30K would even harder if it said Tech 9 on both sides of it. Yeah, we're about to take a look at that, Brush Okie. Appreciate the $20. Very generous of you, sir. Andrew N. says, okay, so I want a quote-unquote game and get to pick my winning. A rugged Razor 7.62 suppressor, or just pick a gun. For reference, I happen to have a rugged muzzle device already. Well, is the gun more expensive? Do you already have a suppressor, right? Because if you can get a better gun, get the gun. But if you don't have a suppressor and you think that would fit like a variety of your guns, then maybe the suppressor is a good option. But like if I was given the choice between like a Mod 1A or $1,000 suppressor, I would just take the Mod 1A every time. It's just worth more, right? So even if I turn around and sold it, I would still have more than what I paid for the suppressor, right? So that is totally up to you, but congratulations on winning. Andrew N. says, my daughter is a girly girl and tomboy at once. She's 7, loves pink and camo, unicorns and deer, and Barbies and hunting and fishing. Says she's going to have a gun safe with a bunch of hunting rifles and some pistols like daddy. Well, that is very cute, and I'm glad that she is looking up to her father, and that means that you're being a good father, which is what we are sorely lacking these days for these modern women, quote-unquote women. And over on Rumble, I just saw Baseball Kid come in and says, for $20.
I don't understand. Care. No, again, I don't fucking care, brother. Come on.
Okay,
I don't
great,
fucking care.
but
What's good about this optic?
Every time. Says, got paid, play the whole thing. You know why I'm here. Catch the VOD tomorrow. No. Oh my gosh.
Do it.
Funny, this is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good, your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money, that's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody's
goes hard. Brandon for 2 says, time to panic buy Badlands ammo. Yeah, that's the only ammo you should not panic buy. Thank you for that.
Right.
Glocky McGlockface for 2 says, is Beretta really buying Ruger? No, they're forcing... I believe, 4 positions, 4 seats of the board. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to buy percentages of the company and put 4 new board members on the board in a semi-aggressive takeover. Now, at some point, are they going to buy Ruger? We'll see. They're definitely investing, definitely trying to move that direction. So we could see Ruger ate Anderson and Beretta eats Ruger. That could be a possibility in the future. You were going to say something, Richard?
Oh, I was just going to talk about the Yolka here because we were talking about drones and
well, real fast before you do that. Andrew N says no suppressors. Guns are options of some cheaper ARs, hunting rifles, and some Smith & Wessons. I would just get the suppressor then, especially if you can use it. It's a 30 cal suppressor, so it's going to be fine on in your 5.56 or 308s or 300 blackouts. So I would, it's a versatile can at least. Yeah, and it's like $800, so it's not terrible. Also says hashtag Tally is the best. Hashtag Christ is king. Christ is king. Tally's not the best though. She's good, but not the best. Anyways, end is near. Beware for 10 says, I am 20 minutes behind, but the USA has just made drones that are to intercept and kill Iranian Shahed drone called Lucas drones and Coyote interceptors, and also laser and electronics taking down drones. Yeah, well, we need to make sure that we can make these countermeasures at a large enough scale to actually counteract the drones in the first place. Because we have ways to take down drones. We have lots of ways to take down drones. Can you get them where they need to go and in a high enough volume to actually matter, right? That's the question. But thank you very much. Okay, now what are we looking at here?
All right, this is a Russian invention called the Yolka, which loose translation means Christmas tree. What this is a man-portable handheld launcher that is meant to take down Shahed drones. And what's unique about it is it's essentially a fire and forget mechanism with onboard AI that uses a camera to identify the target and then lock on. And the rough cost of these is around $500 per unit.
Okay, well, let's see.
Да. Ну. На нахуй! Ты, блядь, это видел нахуй? Это ударный был. Ты это видел нахуй, а?
I mean, yeah, you do need something small and nifty, man portable that can lock on to these drones. Because again, Shahed drones, not very fast. It has a tiny little motor and a single propeller, and it kind of just glides to its target, But yeah, something like that, a little drone that only needs to fly for a minute most, right? So you don't need to worry about range or something like that. It's like a visual range thing. Interesting concept. Now, how those are only $400 or $500? I don't know if I believe that, but they're probably still cheaper than a Shahed drone. So at least they're economic in that way. 3 kill streak on to waste. True. Didn't even get a UAV out, bro. All right. Well, where are we now? We are going to move on to, thank you everybody for the support. You guys are very, very, as soon as I say that, something else comes in. Relax, guys. We want to move on to gun stuff now. The end is near. Beware for 5. Thank you, sir. Says the USA suicide drone, one-way drones, are down to $35K. They are being made to replace lots of Patriot missiles. So again, even that, at least that's economically competitive with a Shahed drone. But how many can we make, right? And are we making them currently? Are they currently being fielded, right? Not like, oh, well, we're testing and developing for the next 5 years. It's like, yeah, we kind of need them like next week. Is that possible? Can I have them delivered on Monday? And can I get 10,000 of them to 20 different bases and oil fields and strategic places of interest on the other side of the world? That's the question right now, Thank you. But no, if we did develop and have something that could perfectly counter the Shahed drones, that would make life much easier in the Gulf right now. But we don't have that. All right. Well, now let's go ahead and talk about, once again, another Tisha L, another Stealth Additive Works L, yet again. Now, this is from Maximundi. If you're not familiar with Maximundi and you're a competitive shooter, you probably should be, because he is the 9 times and only USPSA PCC national champion. So every single year since PCC has been a national division, Max Leograndis has won it. That's how good this guy is. This guy is like the best of the best when it comes to being gay. I mean, shooting PCC. All right, but this is the guy. All right, this is the rifle shooter. This is the dude. Okay, this is the man. Okay, if you see somebody shooting a PCC and he's winning, it's probably this guy. Okay, but he bought a Tisha, of course, because as you do, it's an expensive can that has absolutely wild claims. And his doesn't fit on his hub adapters, which is really unfortunate, dude. All right. So far, the experience getting the Tisha has been pretty bad. I'm hoping that when I finally get to shoot it, that it will still perform as expected. The fit and finish is pretty poor for a suppressor this expensive, which again, these are about $1,200. The Cerakote looks like it was rushed, and it has already chipped in 2 places just by bumping into surfaces, and no rounds fired yet. Now, Cerakote is already a terrible finish for any expensive product. It's not great. Okay. No rounds fired yet. At the bottom of the suppressor, the Cerakote does not have a clean line. This doesn't really bother me, but it doesn't look great. This is the important part. The inner hub threads are very jagged, and while the included Plan B hub adapter fits fine, it does not screw on to the LSD, which accepts all my other hub suppressors. It binds up at the distance you see in the first picture. When I unboxed it, there were titanium shavings and splinters inside the blast chamber coming off the hub threads. I took a wire brush to it to clean it up, and it still did not go onto the LSD. A friend of mine picked one up as well and had the same experience. I ordered a 1.375 by 24 tap, which I'm going to run through it and hopefully get it to mount cleanly to the LSD today, which is wild to think that you're having to tap your $1,200 suppressor because the threads on the inside are basically unfinished. You know, that would not make me happy if I had to order a tap to finish out my $1,200 can. Yeah, did PSA make this can? No, Chud, PSA did not make this can. This is a $1,200 Stealth Additive Works can. Sorry, say again?
I said it looks like he's got some more copium going on there.
Yeah, well, let's see. So I still expect this can to have amazing sound performance, and the look is very cool, but the Ridgeback Defense Rode 6K is nearly the same size, much cheaper, and looks like it has absolutely amazing sound performance, plus more traditional aesthetics. So if you're looking for the shortest can possible that still has the same sound, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now, the T-Shot is a small can, like a short can, but it's still like 18 ounces. It is a chunky brick. So while I get why people are like, oh, it's so small, it's kind of small, but again, it's also a brick. It's very, very heavy. You can see some of the other threads here. You can see the chip on the Cerakote, which again, it's like Cerakote's a bad finish. $1,200 can. You would hope for it not to have that. You can see the jagged edges on the threads on the inside. Not great. It won't even accept a standard hub adapter. And you can see the inside of the Tisha there, because I believe this is the titanium version, and the Cerakote's not even finished on the bottom. Which again, it's like nobody cares. Like it's not that big of a deal performance-wise, but you're spending so much on a can that doesn't really do all the things it's supposed to do. Yeah, the Inconel ones, to be clear, the Inconel ones are 18 ounces, which is crazy heavy. Like even the, whatever this is, the cat white bread, it's like 14 ounces, 15 ounces without an adapter on it. So the Tisha, even though it's shorter, is heavier. They're very, very heavy. But yeah, that is another Tisha not doing the thing it's supposed to do. Hype influencer cans burned quick and died quicker, I guess. Reddit reviews for this can have been very similar to yours. Very true. Now I get tagged in here, of course. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate that. Disappointing. They're going to be on life support soon. I don't know about that, but they definitely need to get their crap together. They need to stop changing the can, stop updating their designs, ship functional units to people. Now, this is a big one, all right? All right, they need to ship functional units to people. If they could ship functional units to end users, I think they'll be much better off. I know that's a shocking statement to make, but if they could ship functional units to people, their reviews would be a lot better. And maybe it does sound as good as they claim. Maybe it is 2.5 times more spatially efficient than the Infinities or some of the other cans out there. Maybe it is. Who knows? I have my doubts, but Did I say eunuch? Did who say eunuch?
I think
eunuch?
you meant to say eunuch.
Oh, eunuch. Well, it might make you a eunuch if you're not careful with it. Now, how about U.S. military ordnance? All right, so we have the new maple syrup dispenser at your local Denny's for your new offensive hand grenade. So this is from the U.S. Army today. The new hand grenade just dropped. Bang. The U.S. Army has approved the new M111 offensive hand grenade for release, developed at Picatinny Arsenal by the Capabilities Program, Executive Ammunition and Energetics within the U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command, DEVCOM. This is the first new lethal hand grenade to be cleared for service since 1968. So we got a new grenade since before the Vietnam War, which is wild. The M111. Is it cool? I don't know, dude. It looks even less ergonomic because like grenades are not particularly easy to throw. They're odd shaped. They're heavy. They're like just under a pound, right? They're 14 ounces, something like that. And this one looks even more unergonomic. Looks even more obnoxious to throw, right? And it also has a certain vibe to it, It has a certain look to it. It just looks right at home at your local Denny's, right? What a great stack of pancakes that is. I feel like
I think the IHOP waitresses would prefer this one, sir. This would go great for IHOP or for Waffle House defense.
Yes, it's very true, right? You have your regular, syrup dispensers, and then you have some special use under the counter for when the customers get a little too rowdy. That's a very good point. Yeah, the IHOP grenade, the Waffle House special. Holy diabetes. Hey, it looks good, okay? It looks good. This is the true use for AI is making fun of the new munitions from the U.S. military. Now, there's another one that was in development along the same time. And I don't know if I just don't pay attention to this type of stuff because it's not like my genre, but what Lego cans do we have here? The Marine Corps is eyeing these stackable stun grenades that can double as breaching charges. So you can mix and match your grenade power factor. What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this has been out for a minute now.
I've never seen these before because not my genre. Scalable grenades are more likely to be on hand, precluding the need to call up a breaching team. So it's like, hey, I only got one left. Pass me 2 more real fast so I can stack these together real quick. From flying tilt rotors, MV-22 Ospreys, blah, blah, blah. One of the new weapons the Corps is looking into could really blow up big. But a new stackable hand grenade that could be used as a stun weapon, a lethal explosive, or even as an ad hoc breaching charge. So imagine if they have like different volumes, right? So you have the lethal version, you have the stun version, right? And you accidentally you mix and match. So you think you're going to be using a breaching charge, but it's just 3 lethals stacked on top of each other. Little oopsie. The scalable offensive hand grenade SOG was produced by Norway-based defense contractor and current M72 law source Nammo. Gives extensive shock effect with very limited number of fragments. The grenades are specifically designed for use in closed rooms, such as bunkers, buildings, or semi-closed areas, such as trenches. The logic behind the SOG, referred to as the Mark 21 Mod O by the Corps officials, is simple. The cylindrical grenades stack end-to-end like Lego pieces, or as one Reddit user pointed out, Crayola markers, to give Marine grunts the capability to produce larger and larger blasts depending on the requirements of the missions. Now, how many can you stack together? That's my question. Each module.
3.
Why can't we go more than 3?
Yeah.
Does it just stop? Like, how come we can't go? Got to think bigger. Surely we could make bigger stacks.
I think it has to do with the ability to throw it. Like you need a certain standoff distance.
What can I make a lightsaber out of these things, right? Can I mix and match colors? Go blue, green, blue, green, blue, green. I imagine blue is stun and green is lethal. I imagine. I don't know. End-to-end like Lego pieces to give Marine grunts the capability to produce larger and larger blasts depending on the requirements of the mission. Each module can have its own fuse, and grenades can be either used separately or by attaching 2 or 3 modules together according to Namo. One base saw grenade can provide a high-pressure stun effect, 2 stacked together can kill a person, and 3 can destroy certain structures. The scalable offensive hand grenade. Oh, so you interesting. Yeah. I don't know if I like the idea of having to like mix and match on the fly though. Like we're doing something and I need to quickly thread together 2 live hand grenades, in a complex situation. I don't really like that idea personally.
I think they come 3 stacked on there, and then you just remove them if you need a lighter charge.
Well, it's the same thing though, right? If I have 3 of them and I only want to use 1 or 2, I still have to stop whatever I'm doing. Give me a second. I'm gonna unthread one of these bad boys.
Nah.
Nah,
3
versus like, why
just
couldn't I
toss
just
all
carry
3.
a frag? Why can't I just carry a frag and a stun, or a variety of the 2? Okay, I mean this can be a Modern Warfare 2 lobby with the overkill perk or whatever it is, and we can just have multiples of each.
I mean, I'm still waiting for the sticky grenade to come out.
Semtex, that's true. We do need that. Twist it, pull it, throw it, bop it. Very cool. All right.
Love it. Shoot it. Have you seen that?
Kill her. Yeah, where it's the guy shooting JFK or something like that. It's very funny.
End it.
That's end it.
It's so dark.
Yeah, it's very funny. What was that? Adult Swim? What was that?
Yeah, I think it was either Adult Swim, Robot Chicken, probably.
Robot Chicken. Yeah. That's the one. All right. Well, how about we got stacking grenades? How about modern Tech 9? Question mark? This guy's pretty nifty. So this is from Masterpiece Arms. Now, Masterpiece Arms, they make a bunch of different stuff, but what I know them for is their 2011s. They make like heavyweight, not bespoke, they're not custom, but they're like nice 2011s for like 3.5K, 3,000, right? Something like that. They make expensive, nice stuff a lot of the times. And then they're also like, you know what? On the side, we're going to make this Tech 9 like abomination that takes Glock mags.
Don't they also already make a form of a not a Tech 9, but a Mac 10 or something?
Something like that. I'm sure that they have a very eclectic website. If you go to their website, it's very strange. But nobody's going to sue anybody because they were giving away the files for free. And the fact that somebody took it and made it out of a real material because 3D printing is gay and retarded. What are they supposed to do? They were giving it away for free. And I don't know how 3D printed anything is better, considering this is aluminum with real pick and real trigger modules and safeties and grips. Oh, just so much better. Infinitely better. Jeez. Masterpiece Arms says, inspired by the legacy of the original Mac platform and refined through decades of engineering, the Defender 30K brings modern design into a compact 9mm PCC format. Built with steel upper and aluminum lower, it balances durability and weight in a streamlined footprint. Designed around familiar ergonomics and broad magazine compatibility, the 30K reflects MPA's continued focus on purposeful design, modularity, and long-term reliability. And I think they're selling it. Be a little careful here. But they're selling it for $899 with a brace, which is, I guess, pretty attractive for a complete PCC, basically. It's not uber expensive like I would think it would be for MPA, but it's also not like dirt cheap. So it's a happy medium for a complete compact little PDW-like system. It's not the smallest out there. The TP9 and some of the other guys are still the true kings of compact, the 365 chassis, the 320 chassis. Those are going to be the smallest true PDW style weapons, but this is pretty close. Gives you a lot of that capability, I suppose, in a more usable way. Steven. You're funny, Steven. Thank you. Everybody's doing it now. just because I'm on my Instagram, you guys think you can message me anything while I'm live. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. I mean, you're doxing yourselves. Doxing yourselves, dogs. Whatever. All right. Wonder if Brassfex will review it. But hey, it's under track, right? Who would you guys? Do you guys think it's worth it? Do you guys think it's not worth it? I guess I could start a poll. What's this thing called? The 30K Defender? The Defender 30K. It's a dumb name.
Yeah, I mean, I like it better than their other Mac that they had. Like, that thing was ugly.
I mean, I think this thing is ugly, to be clear. Don't find this particularly attractive. I mean, the angled buffer tube, the chassis lines not matching up properly. I like the capability, obviously, because you get, real triggers, real grips, real magazines, real controls. But
I don't care
it
for the
is
angled
quite
buffer tube.
ugly.
I think that they should have just slapped Strike Industries folder, whatever. They did it so it would clear the charging handle, but it's still stupid.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it's just pick on the back or if it has to have their folding adapter as one piece. I haven't quite looked into it that much.
So the printed version was designed with pick rail on the back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this.
They should come out with a pick version on the back. That everybody would be happy with that. Nobody wants your solution. They all have their own stuff. The top one is better. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Unbelievable. People trolling me. Telescopic instead of folder. Yeah. I think that would look better for sure. But I mean, the lines, it's not a pretty looking gun. It's not at all. I don't think it was ever going to be a pretty looking gun. But I like that it has actual ergonomics and actual controls and it's under 1,000? Under 1,000? Like that's like even a Strybog is like $1,000 now, $1,200 now for some of them, So relatively attractive price, I would say. I mean, what's another nice BFE Richard True? What's another PCC in this genre that's under 1,000? Like all the 320 and 365 chassis or more. The Taurus chassis, because they have a chassis for their GX4, is like what? 600, 700? So it's a little bit cheaper. TP9s are really expensive. GHM9s are really expensive.
The
total cryostructure death
is even close, but it's not in 9mm. Would be the DBX, the Diamondback.
Yeah, the DBX is close. X-Star 9, but the X-Star 9 is plastic and has a bunch of other weird stuff going on with it.
Real.
It's not my thing. Yeah, but I mean, even an AR9 is like, if you got an Aero EPC9, which you can't even buy them anymore, probably, that's going to be at least 1,000, right? Yeah, you can get it. You can get a PSA Freedom, but a PSA Freedom is going to be a lot larger, and it's going to, use a buffer tube as the recoil system. It's not going to be foldable like this. It's not going to be portable like this. So, I mean, yeah, of course you could get a Blowback 9 AR for cheaper, of course, but that's not what this is. Of course, you could get something for cheaper. That's not the point. But you don't get the folding brace. You don't get the internal operating system. You don't get the PDW form factor.
Right.
You don't get any of that stuff. So, I mean, yes, of course, you can slap together an AR9 for $346. Foxtrot FM9, but Foxtrot sucks. Caltech sub 2K, but the Caltech sucks, and that's a 16-incher. So the Caltech doesn't even count. Even if it folds in half, it's not as compact as this. Yeah. A braced 17L. Well, again, a 17L is going to be what? 600, 700? The brace is going to basically bring it up to what this is. The high point is not compact. It does not fold.
It
doesn't do any of the same stuff.
If you can find those, recoil technologies, the frame kits for the Glock 17, they're like $140, $150.
Yeah, but you still have to buy a 17 unless you already have a 17. But even combining the two.
But a Gen 3 is like, what, $350?
Yes, you could find a cheap gun at a pawn shop somewhere used. Of course you could. I could also find a Strybog used at a gun shop for like $6.99. You know, if we're counting in used prices of things, well, if I bartered with my friend Jimmy over there, I could get the price down. Well, it's like, of course we could.
No, there's police trade in surplus, like an abundance of them. It's not like I have to go searching at pawn shops. They're everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, you guys say it's too much. I think it's very poor coded response. I honestly think it's for what it is. I think it's fine, especially for Masterpiece Arms. I think it's now again. I don't think it's good because I think it's still at the end of the day, it's like a Tech 9. It's not great, all right. But for what it is, for its competition, I think it is appropriately priced. Let's see, what else do I got here? Where did my Geisley one go?
We're actually run, whereas the Tech 9s just sucked ass.
All right, well, let's talk about something real. Something that's actually cool, okay? What did I call it? Like the best rifle currently available. And even that's kind of a misnomer because it's not really available because Geisley's been out of stock since SHOT Show, since they gave away like X million discount codes that I gave away to everybody. But
rumor is they're waiting
till after May to restock. And that is possible. That is possible. Now, I went out, I got this Mod 1A. They sent it out to the channel for testing and evaluation. Geisley's really cool in that way. I don't even have to make a video on it at all. I don't even have to talk about it. They just sent me a rifle. No questions asked. No video requirement. I just get to shoot it, and that's it. So yesterday I was at the range, and I put about 550 rounds through this bad boy, which is the Mod 1A, which is their fully ambi rifle, which is $1,000 cheaper than the Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark 1. Like, I think this one's 24, and I think the Cerakote Mark 1 is 32. MSRP to MSRP, of course, street price is going to be lower for both. But my gosh, same setup, same ammo, same everything. Geisley shoots so much better every time.
Yeah, but what's their opinion on arm and trannies? We need to know.
Well, we don't know. We don't know Bill Geisley's opinion on trannies yet. That's true. We know Mike Mahowski's of Sons of Liberty Gunworks. We know Steve of Troy Industries. But we don't know. We don't know yet the opinion of Mr. Bendy Bill Geisley. I will say that the rifle, though, is fantastic. Again, I only put about 550 rounds downrange yesterday. Took it out to about 500 yards. Had a great time with the rifle. It shoots so much softer, so much flatter. We were shooting it with the Cat white bread with a Hux adapter because I do have the 14.5 version. And again, it's one of those rifles where it is expensive. I know that $2,000+ is a lot of money, right, for people to drop on a rifle. But when we compare it with other quote unquote tier 1 rifles, it's rather tame, especially for the full ambi version, like the Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark 1, which does not have any ambi controls, which has a inferior trigger. It's overgassed. The gas block's not pinned. It's about the same weight, even though it's 3 inches shorter. Vastly inferior when it actually comes to shooting it. And of course, with Geisley, we get all the good controls. We get the SSA EX trigger. I want to say we get the RE BCG, which is fantastic. Also, another thing, I'm just going to dog on the Sons of Liberty Gunworks for a minute. So they give you the rifle at the contract pricing for Sons of Liberty Gunworks, but it doesn't have the contract bolt or barrel. You do not have the Armod steel barrel, and you do not have the special $400, $500 bolt carrier group. But with the Geisley, you always get the RE BCG, which is like the best BCG on the market. You get their barrel, which is like fantastic. The taper profile, very accurate, very well gassed, pinned, cross is set up perfectly, basically. You get their Super 42 system. I think it's an H2 and a Super 42 spring. You get their trigger. You get the full ambi. Now, the way that the ambi works on this, the Geisley Mod 1As are probably the best on the market, just because of how out of the way the controls are. So the way to lock the bolt back is just to push down on the dust cover, and that locks the bolt to the rear. And then the latch on the back, you push that down to drop the bolt home. Very, very efficient. The controls are all out of the way. It is true full ambi for you lefty tards out there. The rail system is good. You got the ratcheted and like triple staked gas or castle nut on the back with the Super 42 system inside. The grip is great. The trigger's great. The controls are good. The charging handle's good. It's got all of the stuff that you would want. And the most important thing to me personally is that it actually shoots nice. And it's nice when a rifle isn't combat gassed and it just runs, right? It just runs really nice. It's really flat. Like I wouldn't have any issues taking it to a competition or to like a DMR match. Like when I was zeroing the rifle with like 55 grain, just that ball, that Frontier Hornady stuff, and I'm printing groups for zeroing that I can cover with like my thumb. I'm like, I'm good. All right. 43 cents a round for ammo. I'm taking the stuff out to 500 yards. Not a problem with the gun. The gun's good to go. And it's full ambi and it's cheaper than most of the other ones out there. Now, of course, you can get like 90% of the performance for $1,200. You know, get a BCM and a arrow lower, right? The Reddit special or the Lucas Bakken special from back in the day. You can get the same performance for a lot less. You can build your own for a lot less. But for a factory rifle, if you're looking at the top tier guys, LMT, Geisley, Daniel Defense, Sons of Liberty Gun Works, even Troy, right? The Mod 1A is cheaper and, in my opinion, basically better than all of them. So I enjoy it. I really, really like it. And I'm probably going to buy another one, which is how much I like it. Probably going to buy an 11.5 to match it and then just forget about it. Is the BCG lubed with all that glaze? Well, hey, I haven't even told you. The RE BCG has their nano weapon coating, which is like the best coating in the game. Like thousands of rounds, minimal wear from all the ones that I've used in the past. And it also has their Carpenter 158 Plus, which is their proprietary material that they worked out with Carpenter over in Germany. So it actually truly has a enhanced bolt with enhanced mechanical properties rather than just like the standard mil spec stuff. So it is actually quite good. I've heard people that say good things about psionics. I haven't checked any of them out yet, but I've heard good things about the psionics. I need to try psionics. What's the other one that's out there that I think is Randy hates them? Black Rain Ordnance. Is that the one? Psionics, Black Rain Ordnance. There's a couple others that I need to get some in to try. I know some people like Radian. I've never been particularly impressed with the Radian stuff. Centurion is like mil spec plus a little bit. So I mean, it's fine out there too. But yeah, I really, really enjoy shooting the Mod 1. So yeah. A little bit of a sneak peek on that. I probably will put a video out on the Gun.Deals and maybe like a big comparison video later on in the year on my channel. But I do enjoy shooting it. So that means that I will actually continue to shoot it versus like, again, every time I shoot the Mark 1, the Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark 1, I'm like, I can't wait till I have to send this back because I only have like 2 weeks left with the Mark 1 before I have to send it back. And once I never have to shoot that rifle again, I'm going to be so happy. You keep your rifle. I don't need that. I don't want to touch it. It's $3,200. I wouldn't pay like $12 for it. Send that back there. All right. PWS. Yeah, PWS does like piston stuff though, you know. And I like PWS rifles. I've had a great luck with all of the 14.5s, the 11.5s that I've shot. Quite like them. Yeah, Blackout Defense, Type A. Type A back in the day was not very good because they were like Superlative Arms gas blocks and Roscoe barrels. That'll be $2,000. It's like, really? I hope they've changed the stuff. Back in the day, it was just like off the shelf components from other people for like premium prices, and it's like, I don't think so. Hopefully they've been better. So, Hodge is Vaporware, Munition Works. Hodge is Vaporware, Munition Works. Well, Munition Works, again, it's a pretty standard rifle though, right? So it's kind of like the BCM. So obviously Dane over at Munition Works is one of the 4 people that will pass the trans question. So if you do want to give your money to a good person, you should give it to Munition Works, right? However, I wouldn't put him in like the, at least not until he gets his own receiver sets and some of the other special things that these other companies have. He's still like a builder / assembler who has some of his own custom parts because his new handguard system that's coming out should be quite good as well. So, but he's still kind of in that little bit of a builder plus, I would say. Much better than me. Shouldn't give any money to me. Go to him instead, please. Please. But now we're going to go ahead and switch topics once again, get into a little bit of rage bait, maybe some world news, maybe some funny stuff as well. That could be good. All right. Chud McGill for 2 says, I wonder if this can is ... incredibly gassy. I would guess no. The Tisha's claim to fame is that it's low back pressure, it's so small, yet so sound efficient. It's literally 2.5 times better than the next can down. Like, really? Lightsport for 2 says Tim Kennedy is going to have to keep a bag of them. Yeah, they look a lot bigger, too. Is it just me, or do the new grenades look bigger?
I think they're smaller, actually. Oh, wait, yeah, those ones are larger.
Yeah, so, dude, he's not even going to be able to fit 50 of them. He's probably going to have to downscale to, like, 40 or 35.
And if I remember correctly, they're using the same firing head on them, same spoon and mechanism.
Let's see. Just on Space Cowboy for 10 says offensive, and the timing leads me to believe it's a thermobaric grenade inspired by the trench clearing and room clearing grenades from Ukraine. The M67 was designed with ergonomics in mind, baseball core. Yeah, they wanted to make it like a baseball, but it's almost a pound. Versus this is like not that. This looks obnoxious to throw. Thank you, Space Cowboy. Appreciate that, sir.
Get the spiral on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
Take
actually
two of
supposed
them
to
together.
throw it like a
Football.
football posting. Brandon Caputo for 2 says Chicago Streets pharmacists are drooling right now. Drooling at what? What are we drooling at? Oh, this stuff? Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Listen, guys, they ain't going to be paying $900 for that. Let's be real. Thank you, Brandon. They're going to be walking around with a Bear Creek with no brace on. That's what they go. Moonman for 10 says, this thing is ugly. Richard, that thing I made you, Chud, stay losing. Damn, Moonman. Didn't you just win a USP or something? Don't you got to pay for that? Heathen for 5 says, there's a new company making TP9 clones for around $1,000. Interesting. If PSA would ever just make their X9, they would have sold a lot, and they could have even been better than the TP9. It's not that difficult to be better than the TP9. Just ask Brass Facts. Tarke for 5 says the steel probably makes it heavier than a 5-inch AR9. If you want a tiny 9mm that takes Glock mags, put a Glock in a Recover 2020. Can even holster that. Yeah, but I hate the 2020 chassis, and I think legally you're supposed to SBR it, which is also obnoxious. The idea of SBRing a Glock 17, but
they add a stock piece in there if you want to SBR it, but it's technically a brace. That's what they say anyway, and that's what their letter says.
All right. Looks awfully stocky to me. That's all I'm saying. But thank you, Tarke. Hope you're doing well out there. Glocky McGlockface for 2 says Geisley 14.5 H-bar on an arrow lower. I'm part poor. That's also a great way to go. If you can pick up an upper on sale for like 800, 900, which they sometimes go on sale for, and slap them on your lower, also a good way to go. But obviously, you're not going to get the ambi capability there. Noob Crastinator became a Ko-Fi caffeine creeper, at least had his monthly dues there. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. Andrew N says, okay, last thing. I think I need a BCG for a 13.7 build in the works. Aside from Geisley, what are some other good BCGs? Hashtag Rex is not the best. Hashtag Christ is King. Christ is King. Rex is also not the best. I have to admit it. Liara is the best girl. She just is, you know. It's canonical. It's destiny. It's meant to happen. Okay, Liara is the best girl. But other good BCGs. If you don't need something special, the AO, not Arrow, the AO Precision TMS True Mil-Spec BCGs are $100, and they're very good. They're exactly what's in the FN contract rifles right now. If you need something nicer than that, it gets really expensive. So you have the RE BCG, you have like LMT, you have a few other out there that have like their special bolts and bolt materials. But if it's just plain stuff, then I would just go with an AO TMS. That's basically what I run in all of my guns that aren't Geisley.
Yeah, the price difference between the AO versus something like an Expo Arms, if you can even get it on sale. The cheapest I've seen those was like $82, and they're like, I got their chrome lined. They're nice bulk carriers for what they are, right? But for a $17 difference.
The thing is, like, the BCMs are $150, and they're the same carrier. Like, they're the same bolt. They're identical. They're identical. So it's not. It's more expensive, and you know you're getting a good product, but it's just more expensive than the TMS. So CAC K-spec down vent. No.
No.
I have a K-spec down vent with the sand cuts, and other than looks, like it doesn't perform any differently. And down venting into your fire control unit and magazines is not a bright idea.
Yeah, you sent me you sent me a trigger group that you had used in one of those that you had a suppressor on for quite some time.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
I had to put the trigger group in an ultrasonic cleaner to get the carbon off of it. It was that bad.
That is what happens there, and especially like it killed all of the
quad
Desert
mags.
Tech magazines, all the quad mags.
Yeah.
These guys, unbelievable. I see Space Cowboy nerding out about this stuff. Let's see. BBC Braceless Bear Creek Drew. Justin Space Cowboy for 2 says, check the post I sent you. I was right. The M111 is an offensive grenade relying on blast to defeat manpower involved from the Mark 14 ASM from TC 30-23.30. The filler is said to be aluminized HMX PAX-3. But the picture here shows the comp A-3 aluminized, which means HMX might have been replaced with RDX in the final product. Dog, I'm going to pretend that I know what any of those letters and numbers mean and just assume that you are right.
From what I gather, if I'm correct here, the aluminized HMX is not quite as powerful as the RDX. So they went with a more powerful explosive.
All right, and I think that's everything over on Ko-Fi. Bushmaster on Rumble for 2 says, John, you still shoot the BRN-4? I saw your old video on it. I'm considering building one. No, that one there was a customer's, so I shot that for a while and then sent it back to him. I did like it. I thought it was nice, but it's not something that's like, my deal. The gentleman who owned it, he was recreating his M27 IAR build that he had in the Marines, and so that's what he bought it for. But the BRN-4 is not a bad system. It works just fine. It's probably one of the better things that Brownell has made. Actually, true. Amplify the Signal over on Rumble says LWRC bolts with the integrated gas key. Also a very interesting design. I like that. And if they're in stock, you can actually build the or buy just the carrier by itself, which is neat. All right. And we're all cut up now. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to a little bit of rage bait, a little bit of world news, a little bit more spicy topics now that we're getting past the 2-hour mark here. We're getting close to it anyways. Police call shooting at U.S. consulate in Toronto, a quote-unquote national security incident seeking 2 suspects. Police say they are seeking 2 suspects who fired multiple rounds at the consulate at 4:30 in the morning. 2 suspects are being sought after multiple shots were fired at the U.S. consulate in downtown Toronto Tuesday morning in what police are calling a national security incident. At a joint news conference outside the consulate late Tuesday morning, officials say from the RCMP and Toronto Police Station said officers responded to reports that someone had shot at the building located near Queen Street around 5:30 in the morning. However, Toronto Police Department, believed to happen at 4:30, maybe just a daylight savings issue. A white Honda CRV heading southbound on University Avenue reportedly stopped in front of the consulate at that time. Brito said 2 male individuals then got out of the vehicle and fired multiple rounds at the building with a handgun, he said, before getting back inside and driving southbound. Now, my question is this part of the usual suspects in terms of ethnic hood warfare, or is this the usual suspects in terms of ethnic terroristic warfare? Right? I'm not entirely sure. Who could it be? It's got to be one or the other, right?
Yeah, my guess is probably going to be, with it being Toronto police, I'm going to guess that it's probably Iranian sympathizers.
Yeah, something like that, right? Because, like, obviously they have a huge invader population up in Canada, them taking shots at the U.S. embassy there. I mean, it doesn't make for a meaningful target for the hood warriors, so I'm thinking the terrorists, probably the terrorist sympathizers, as they're called, probably a much more opportune target for them. When officers arrived over an hour later, it took them an hour to respond. Barreto said they found gun shell casings and damage to the front door and building. He said people were believed to be inside the building, but no one was injured. Barreto said that the building is heavily fortified, and it's likely people inside didn't even hear the shots. The shooting was only reported after a witness flagged down an officer in the area an hour later. Okay, so that's why. So inefficient and ineffectual that, yeah, somebody shot at us, but we're not really sure who, and they were not successful. Like, were they just hoping to get lucky to shoot up the embassy and kill somebody inside? Is it a deterrent? Are they just being gay? IDF terror? Possibly. Maybe they were upset about their hockey loss. Could be true. Could be true. Good point. Yeah, not entirely sure, but yeah, if you're a U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy worker around the globe, you are a target as of now because you do work for a country involved in a war in the Middle East, and for some reason, we keep importing those people. For some reason, the people we're currently at war with doesn't really make sense, but c'est la vie. Now, crossing the pond for a moment, we were gay in Canada. Now let's be gay over in the UK, shall we? There was a large building in Glasgow that had survived multiple world wars and then gets burned down by Pakistani immigrants. Great. Yay. Such wonderful things. Thank you, Labor. The Union Street fire, and really all of the UK government, the Union Street fire story gets worse and worse. The shop was run by Pakistani nationals, did not have a legal license to sell vapes. Pakistani and selling vapes. Gay squared? Gay cubed? Were not even registered. Owed 10,000 euros, 10,000 pounds of business rates from last year. Council sent bailiffs after me for being 3 weeks late on a 2K payment. Of course, but you're not Pakistani, Dankula. You are Scottish. You are, a citizen. You are held to a much higher standard than Pakistani rape gangs. I mean, let's be clear here, sir. Come on. The shop was sold to a new owner only 2 weeks ago. The fire was apparently caused by an overloaded vape charging station. We should do things to vapors. Do we have any vapors in the chat? I just want to know. They most likely had multiple extensions plugged into the one socket. Very Pakistani coded behavior. If you've ever seen their electrical grid, it is a thing to behold. Some of the foreign engineering that goes on over there. Allegedly, a woman had rented a room for her business upstairs and was due to open for her very first day of business literally the next day. Hopefully, she had fire insurance. Foreign scammers are already setting up fake GoFundMes to try and scam locals who want to donate to help the business owners. Of course, Pakistani scammers, you have Pakistanis burning down your infrastructure, and then you have Pakistani scammers trying to scam the good people who are trying to help out their fellow man. Of course.
Why do they call him a British man normally, but in this instance, they're calling them foreign scammers? I don't get it.
Yeah, that's a good image. Yeah, diversity is our strength. Many such cases. That's a good image. There are certain things you could get by scrolling X, and sometimes you got to be a little careful. But for now, here we go. All right. Now, how about we covered some diversity being our greatest strength on Monday, I think, right? Where Jake Lang had the Muslim terrorist throwing nail bombs above the reporter's head, that retard reporter's head, right?
Yeah.
We had that happen. However, that was only the second biggest bomb this week to be thrown at Jake Lang. Wow. Did you know about this, Richard? That was the second biggest bomb to be thrown at Jake Lang, because it turns out Jake Lang happens to be Jewish, also happens to be a pedophile. So we have our good friend Faceless throwing the bigger bomb. All right, this one actually landed in Jake Lang's lap, blew up, exploded a little prematurely, you could say, a little early, but it definitely did its job. Hey says, care to explain these texts at Jake Lang? You coming to my next protest in Texas? I can if you want me to. Yes, what's your number? Can we talk on here instead, or you only text? I have too many DMs. Text only, sweetie. Sweetie, you say? What? Blah, blah, blah. How old are you, by the way? I'll ask tomorrow. Again, this is who he's talking to, asking him how old he is. I just turned 30, honey. Why you up so late, young lady? Nice. And I don't know, I'd be a night owl. I might be too young for you, LOL. How old are you, baby? Unless you're under 18, I don't care. I'm 15. LOL. Oh, picture. Perhaps a sexual picture. When do you turn 16? Question mark. When do you... I know you're not legal yet, but when are you legal? And can you send me some pre-legal pictures, please? Anyways, in 6 months, I won't get you in trouble if that's what you're worried about. I can keep a secret heart emoji. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Jake. I really appreciate that.
Jake Lang, 1776, has been in the news for doing tons of shit. Yesterday, he was driving around my city for some reason humping a goat in the back of a van. I wish I was kidding, that's exactly what this weird fuck was doing. Jake's not interested in goats. As it turns out, he's interested in young underage women. See, a friend of mine, Arlen, aka the Zerg, does underage things.
Golden era.
He just likes a different type of kid.
Yeah, technically both kids, true. No, but Golden Era, MAGA, U.S. Senate candidate, January 6th, political prisoner for 1,500 days, God First, America First, has a link in bio, of course, for his GoFundMe. Maybe he needs another stint in jail, okay? Maybe the first one wasn't justified, but maybe the second one will.
Friend of mine, Arlen, aka the Zerg, does underage things. It turns out Jake Lang was stupid enough to give him his number and creepy enough to interact with him thinking that he was a 15-year-old girl. They started working on this back in November when they followed Jake Lang's account. Jake Lang reached out and said, "You coming to my next protest in Texas?" Jake immediately goes for the phone number. Now I want to make it apparent that these profiles are very clearly belonging to high school students. I obviously can't show you the profile because that would blow the entire operation, but they always have some sort of high school and some throwback to being in high school. But it gets worse. Jake insisted to move it to text message conversation. He said, "I have too many DMs. Text only, sweetie." Decoy gives phone number in this message. Jake gets chatty. "How old are you, by the way?" The decoy asks. He says, "I turned 30, honey. Why are you up so late, young lady?" "How old are you, baby? Unless you are under 18, I don't care." The decoy says, "I'm 15," and sends a selfie. And he sends possibly the creepiest message a 30-year-old grown fucking man could send to a 15-year-old. He says, "When do you turn 16?" The decoy then says, "In 6 months I turn 16. I won't get you in trouble if that's what you're worried about. I can keep a secret." Jake hearts this message. And he takes it a step further. "What state do you live in? I can't see you till you're 16. Jake,
this is grooming. Jake, you're plotting to have sexual intercourse or meeting up with this woman the moment she turns 16, if she's in a state where that's legal, right? Because in some states that would still be very illegal. You're planning this out now, all right? You are the pedo in this situation. And I know somebody's going to say, actually, he's just a hebephile. All right, face the wall. But anyways, moving on from that. You're plotting your moves with a 15-year-old girl or somebody you believe is a 15-year-old girl, right? Just a little problematic. Chud, a coworker of mine's mom was groomed from 13 by his father. Grooming is a real thing. You know, you're taking these people down a path, especially before they were legal, waiting for them to be legal. It's dark, it's creepy, it's disturbing, it's disgusting, and these types of people should be forced to face the wall. And of course, legally face the wall. In Minecraft or in real life, I don't know.
30. Is this crazy right-wing influencer thing going so poorly for you that you have to try fucking children? Or are you just a pedophile, bro?
That's a good question. But yeah, Jake Lang's career is good luck out there, bro. This isn't so, the Muslims didn't do this to you. You did this to yourself. But Jake Lang said he would get me on the Patrick Bet David podcast if I let his driver named Israel take me to a secluded place so he could drug me. He did not want me to Uber. nor would he stop asking me over call to wear Lolita dresses and pretend I was younger when we met up. Faceless just says, Jake, the baby and hun stuff has got to stop. But regardless, I'll be down to Miami soon and I'll take you out to dinner and make some content. What time? BB, not this week, but soon. The podcast is awesome. This is Empathy. Hey, how are you? Are you guys leaving around South Beach around 11 a.m. tomorrow to head to the studio with me for podcast? Please send me an address where I can pick her up. And it's like that. I just posted I've been talking. Hey, baby, I'm trying to find another ride for you. Can't make it today, but regardless, I'll be down in Miami. Oh, I remember now. Can you ask Patrick if I can come on the podcast with you? I think it'd be a good addition. It's about January 6th, but I will introduce you to the team. Okay, good stuff. Looking forward to see you. And it continues on. So it seems like he has a pattern of being into very degenerate things, much in the same line of Elijah Schaefer. And it's all... Well, again, when you remember that Jake Lang is a member of the tribe, it kind of checks out the people that he hangs out with. Yeah, the dude is a little gross. But we have all these right-wing influencers. It's like gay or pedo, and it's kind of a coin flip, right? You have Rilliam, who was objectively gay. He was into a lot of gay stuff, and he's fixed, he claims, right? Of course. You have Elijah Schaefer, who is gay and cheated on his wife and family. And now you have Jake Lang, who is not gay yet, but definitely likes some young, likes some a little too young. A little too young. So that is Jake Lang's career being a bit over, being a bit done. At least I hope so. You know, you never know, but we kind of hope that it is. Let's see here. Let me see if I can arrange these properly real fast. Okay. Well, now, Richard, I need your honest reaction to this image, okay? Because this might scare you. It's a little threatening, but I need you to give me your honest reaction to what you're about to see here.
All right.
Doesn't this just imbue you with terror? Aren't you scared? Doing a little bit of a cold sweat right now, looking at this man's question mark face, about to feed you what you deserve, you bigot, you transphobe. I've got a sandwich for you. Tell me to get back in the kitchen one more time, Buster. I dare you.
Yeah. Here's my reaction.
Oh, it should have been something else. Actually, I have it. Where did it go?
Kill yourself, faggot.
That one will do
I
it
can
too.
say that one now.
Yeah, we're past 2 hours. You can say faggot.
All right.
It's fine. Yeah, so, but anyways, moving on. There was another bit of drama there revolving Kirsha, of course, went posting the Sam Hyde clip, the base Sam Hyde clip. What we win, do not forget that these people want you broke, dead, your kids raped, and brainwashed, and they think it's funny. Now, there was a trans VTuber, Color Me Shocked, that got completely deleted from X and everywhere else, deplatformed because they were calling for the death of right-wingers. And this is a man pretending to be a woman, pretending to be an anime character as a VTuber. So there's a lot of levels of transition here, right? And now a lot of there's like, surprisingly, it's weird. There's some VTubers who are like quote unquote based, but it's such a weird genre of entertainment. And it's so infiltrated with the left as well that you also has a hive of like trannies and furries and other degenerates that it's just so tainted that it's just weird. It's just weird. But this is from Naira, who is again a insane man. Says, I don't think right-wingers deserve to live in a civilized society. Their ideology is based on hatred, oppression, and abuse. They don't care about truth. They want to subjugate those they deem weaker to feel powerful and enrich themselves. This has no place in a just world. That's right. In a just world, Mr. Naira, you kill everyone who disagrees with you, which is much, much more fair and just. Anyways, good to know, but face the metaphorical Twitter ban wall. Thanks for that, because that person is gone and the world is better for it. Now, in other silly news, we have another, not a SIGcident, Not a confirmed incident, anyways, or a claimed incident, but we do have another National Guardsman playing the Russian roulette of stupidity and shooting one of their buddies while horsing around. So here we go.
National Guard soldier accidentally shoots another soldier in the chest. Good evening, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. The shooting happened around 7 this evening. Gabby Killett is live at Jackson Barracks on St. Claude Avenue.
Well, John and Lauren, we are here at Jackson Barracks, where Fox 8 where a Fox 8 source tells us that a National Guardsman shot a fellow soldier. Fox 8 source familiar with the investigation told us tonight that a National Guardsman did accidentally shoot a fellow soldier. A memo obtained by Fox 8 also indicated that the soldier.
Hey, yo, is friendly fire turned on in this server? What's up? That's what it sounded like. Hey, is friendly fire turned on in this server? Hold up, let me check. Yeah, it's on. It's on.
Did accidentally shoot a fellow soldier. A memo obtained by Fox 8 also indicated that the soldiers were allegedly playing with a gun and that they didn't know it was loaded and that it was accidentally.
National Guard soldier accidentally shoots another.
Just a little oopsie here. So yeah, National Guardsman accidentally shoots fellow soldier in New Orleans, source says. Very ethnic coded. A National Guard soldier accidentally shot a military comrade Tuesday night, March 10th, at the Jackson Barracks near Arabi. According to a Fox 8 source familiar with the investigation, the New Orleans Police Department dispatched several units to the scene around 6:56. A NOPD spokesman would only confirm that a man sustained a gunshot wound at the scene. So an initial report obtained by Fox said a man was shot in the chest and that efforts to control his bleeding were underway. The NOPD said the wounded soldier was taken for emergency treatment at a hospital, but did not disclose the soldier's condition. The department also did not say whether anyone has been arrested in connection to the shooting. A National Guard spokesperson would not confirm details of the shooting, but said the NOPD was investigating. There's no threat to anyone or anything on the Jackson Barracks, Louisiana National Guard property, because they had done it to themselves.
The Louisiana National Guard has confirmed a service member left their gun in a Bourbon Street hotel bathroom.
That's right. It happened Sunday night. National Guard says somebody returned the weapon, and it's handling the service member and the incident.
So just a little while earlier on February 8th, somebody left a rifle unattended. How do you forget your rifle in the bathroom? Like, I could see somebody forgetting their handgun if they take it off in the bathroom. I've never done it personally, but at least I could kind of see how that could happen. But a rifle? How do you forget a rifle in your bathroom?
Being extremely hungover.
I guess.
This is breaking news.
Accidentally shoots another soldier in
This is the
chest.
uncut
Good evening,
clip.
I'm John Snell.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. The shooting happened around 7 this evening. Gabby Killett is live at Jackson Barracks on St. Claude Avenue.
Well, John and Lauren, we are here at Jackson Barracks, where Fox 8 where a Fox 8 source tells us that a National Guardsman shot a fellow soldier. Now, I'm going to actually step out the way so that you can take a look and really listen in. We actually hear taps playing right now. That's in the distance at this National Guard base. Now,
did the guy die? Like, as far as I'm aware, his condition is critical, or he's in the hospital still, but I haven't seen that he actually died.
A Fox 8 source familiar with the investigation told us tonight that a National Guardsman did accidentally shoot a fellow soldier. A memo obtained by Fox 8 also indicated that the soldiers were allegedly playing with a gun and that they didn't know it was loaded and that it was accidentally fired. Now, this took place at...
Taps means bedtime. It's a sad song. I never thought it meant bedtime. That's
Jackson
funny.
Barracks. That's around 6:56 p.m. tonight. That's in the 6400 block of St. Claude Avenue. And again, the NOPD said that the wounded soldier was taken for emergency treatment to a hospital, but they didn't say the soldier's condition. A source does tell us that the National Guardsman was shot in the chest. So we are looking to get...
Man, dude. So think about this scenario. Somebody leaves their handgun out. It's loaded, which is already retarded and stupid. Somebody else picks up the gun and is like, yo, motherfucker, you want to see this shit loaded, dog? Ha, 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 I got a gun, point at your chest, dog. Bang, whoa, why is he on the ground? What was that noise? It's so loud in here, dude. That's crazy, dude. like, I don't know. To me, so if somebody pointed a gun at my chest jokingly, like, I wouldn't take that nicely. I wouldn't take that as a joke. You know? I would not be happy with that. I'd be like, no. We have a problem now. Yeah, we're not doing this. We're not pointing guns at my chest, even if you think it's unloaded. Like, this is a problem now. We're now doing much more. I'm gonna actually show you that my gun is not loaded, or sorry, not unloaded. All right. If you want to play with guns, mine's not unloaded. This is a problem now.
Just pure.
I know we leaking and shit, Frodo. Yeah, especially if it's intentional. Like, you're horsing around, pointing a gun into somebody's chest. I'm just like, nah. Anyways, yeah, the meme of like, I was in the military. I know how to shoot.
I don't even like going to gun shows anymore because there's so many retards around that just like to fucking flag you and scope right in on your face. It's like, hey, can you not?
Well,
like, there are light bulbs up there. Just point at those, please.
Speaking of retards, Richard, have you ever hated like inanimate objects, or have you seen this new crime wave of inanimate objects attacking people, killing? Like, we had a car kill someone the other day, but now we have a new one. We have a new one now. We have a puffer jacket going around and assaulting people randomly. It's puffer jacketed perp. It's just it just happens, I guess. Puffer jacketed perp busted for sucker punching female New York Police Department school crossing guard cop. Yeah, great. Thank you. That's so wonderful that you just attack a school crossing guard. Great. I feel like you're going to be a
Kentucky
great member
today
of society. Oh, wait, no. How many woods in the chat for Caitlin Becker? Ooh, wow, jump scare.
Like rush.
Yeah, it's probably like 12 woods in there. But a puffer jacketed bozo, I hate puffer jacketed bozos, was busted in the random sucker punch attack of a female NYPD school crossing guard in the Bronx, cops said Wednesday. Anthony Andrus, 35, who has an apparent aversion to tying his shoes and has at least 7 prior arrests. Shocking.
Well, you could have just said he has an apparent affinity for stealing bikes.
Was nabbed on a warrant and charged with assault in connection to the March 5th attack on the uniformed guard in the Concourse neighborhood, police said. The 46-year-old victim was working at the corner of Girard Avenue and East 167th Street around 8:15 a.m. In March when Andrews stormed up to her, slugged her in the chest without saying a word, authorities said. The victim was treated at the scene by EMS workers for chest pain and later sought further medical care on her own, police said. Andrews, who initially fled the scene, was captured on surveillance footage strolling on the rainy sidewalk with the hood of his black puffer jacket pulled up over his head, wearing black pants and brown construction boots with the laces untied. This is actually jogger attire. I'm pretty sure this is like Ahmaud Arbery jogger attire right here. Okay.
It is.
Andrews' criminal history includes 2 other assaults, including one that ended with him facing misdemeanor charges back in 2018. He was also arrested for assault in 2017. The disposition of those cases was not immediately known. Listen, you got 7 prior arrests. This is your 3rd time assaulting somebody. I just don't think you're a useful member of society. I don't think you bring any value to the community. I think you need to be out of it. All right? Put out of it. Yes, getting caught. Also a good point as well. 3rd time.
I recall correctly, for the past 2 months, there's been a guy who's they're calling a serial attacker who's going around just sucker punching women and knocking them out on the streets. The one I seen the other day was a guy that looked similar to this, and he elbowed a woman at close range, fracturing her orbital
I've seen
socket.
that. Yeah, he was running around just attacking people randomly, white girls randomly.
Yeah.
Many such cases. Well, that is our puffer jacket section. But now what about our, what do I even call this? Ethnic recipes? How about let's get some advice from the expert here at the health benefits of of candy water, okay? How about some health benefits of juice water. Okay? Let me
Juice
pull this
water?
back up real fast. Yes.
Stopping him. Allow my kids to eat candy, but I will allow candy juice. Eating gummies is not healthy for the teeth. Gummies tend to get stuck on the teeth, which create cavities. So here's our candy juice. It tastes just like candy. My kids actually love it more than chewing the candy. My son loves when I make the juice. It's so good. Once he starts drinking it, there's no stopping him. Now thank me later.
Have you ever seen this before, Richard? Is this a thing that people do?
Not with water, usually with vodka.
Right. So this is what degenerates would do with alcohol, not a mom trying to raise her kids healthily. So I shove a bunch of candy into water until all of the red dye goes off the candy and into the water, because chewing the gum itself is the unhealthy part. Jolly Rancher and a leaned Sprite is a thing. Scissorp. So this is getting them on lean. This is like the kids' version of lean then. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Yeah.
Later on a healthy journey. So I don't allow my kids to eat candy, but I will allow candy juice. Eating gummies is not healthy for the teeth. Gummies tend to get stuck on the teeth, which create cavities. So here's our candy juice. It tastes just like candy. My kids actually love it more than chewing the candy. My son loves when I make the juice. It's so good.
I feel bad for them, right? Because it's like, listen, kids, you should not be brought up with this sort of behavior, this ingrained in you. Like, this is not correct. We should stop this behavior, and we shouldn't allow this behavior in the first place. Because listen, we all know that we're paying for it. And let's listen to another hood chef complain about some of the restrictions on her free food, shall we? That we, of course, pay for. Keep in mind.
What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
Hannah Moore believes she and other SNAP recipients should be able to go into the grocery store and buy whatever they like.
That's not even cool. Like, why they do that? What's the point of food stamps if it's just
I want
for
that.
real?
But look at her poop earrings, puffy jacket, Apple AirPods in ears, complaining about having to use her free food, right, that you and I pay for through our tax dollars, having to use that on real food. What's even the point if I can't buy purple drink or, I don't know, candy water, whatever it's going to be? Yeah, I don't think that she needs stamps. I think she doesn't even really need that much food. I think that she needs a diet, probably, and she probably should be eating real food. And if she has 3, 4, 5 children from a bunch of different baby daddies, that she ought to be feeding them real food, right? Because that's more important. Your life is, you already ruined your life. Maybe you should put a little bit of thought and care into somebody else's life for once. Probably not going to happen, but a man can dream. A man can dream. She needs steps. Y'all weird. What are you talking about? Y'all weird, dog. I just want her to eat real food, and I want to stop paying for her bad food. That's all. They doing too much. They working too hard. Now, here's another thing. And I saw somebody sent me this today, and I was like, I identify with this. Okay. And this is from Section 8 Sal, holding tenants accountable. Because I used to work as an Amazon delivery driver. And so having to go to some of the Section 8 areas of the only big city in South Dakota, which is Sioux Falls. Man, I saw the worst of the worst. These people have, cheap housing or free housing in some cases, and it just gets treated like garbage, right? So something given has no value, right? That's the line. These people truly treat it like nothing. These places are all crappy, all disgusting, breeding grounds, literally and metaphorically, for the worst of the worst, right? You'll have a baby mama and like 12 children in one little apartment, and it's just this the smell is disgusting, the stench, the trash, the animals, the obvious abuse that goes on in there. I mean, these are literally disgusting places.
Oh, come on. 12 is an exaggeration. You and I both know that she aborted half of them.
Well, that's why there's only 12, dude. Come on.
Are you kidding me? It's the landlord. How you doing, man? Hey, do you know who if this was them that did this?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What they do?
They got paint all over my carpet.
This is the average Section 8 individual. For some reason, they're never wearing shirts. They don't really understand what's going on. I don't really know if they work or if they do anything productive or if they just sit in their house all day. Like, I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
Oh, wow.
The landlord. Hi. Hey, how are you? Do you know who did this? This you guys?
No, it wasn't me.
It was them?
I ain't a snitch, but I mean...
Listen,
I
being
didn't
a
do it,
snitch when you're in this situation is a good thing. So I assume it wasn't you, right?
No, it wasn't.
So it was them.
Well, the poster boards are right there, so it's kind of obvious.
Okay, so it was them. Okay, thank you.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, can you send me most recent phone number, please?
What did you call her? Unbelievable.
2 Washington apartment. All right, well, she's about to get an earful right now. She completely painted on our carpet. Sal Sortino.
Hey.
We got an issue with these boards over here. It looks like you painted all over the carpet in Washington. I gotta ask you, what made you think you could spray paint on the floor in the building?
I put stuff underneath and went through. I put a whole 3 trash bags down. It went through.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to have this I'm gonna try to have it.
These people do not care at all. It's nothing to them. It's meaningless. They don't care about the other tenants. Like I would walk up stairwells, because it'd be 3, 4, 5 stories or whatnot, and it would just be trash in piles all the way up the stairwell on both sides, right? And it'd be like they had walking paths in the middle, but not a single human in there cared at all to clean it up. Not for themselves, not for their children, not for just normal human decency. Literally none of it, right? And that is the scenario that a lot of these people are being brought up in, that a lot of these children are being raised in. And you wonder why that these people don't exhibit normal human decency when it comes to human life or cleanliness or whatever it might be. And this is literally the environment in which they're raised. This is actually how they behave at a fundamental level, and it's all they've ever known, right? So it's like trash is something for somebody else to clean up. They don't care about their own livelihood, their own well-being, and they certainly don't care about yours, right? Which is what makes them dangerous.
It cleaned, but I can clean it. I don't know. I don't really think paint comes out of carpet, especially this thin commercial carpet. If I have to replace this carpet down here, you're gonna.
Also, yes, it sounded like an orchestra going into these buildings. You would hear boom, boom, just going off on the different as you're walking down through the other apartments and whatnot. It would just be going off nonstop. Miserable experience.
I have to pay for it.
Okay.
You obviously, right? You understand that, right?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'll let you know what it ends up costing.
Okay.
Look at this.
But yeah, I saw that and I got enraged because I had to deal with that for a while. And yes, they are all Section 8 housing is like that. All of it. And they use it not only as breeding grounds for biological weapons, but they also use it to we have in Sioux Falls, we have certain little Somali enclaves, and it's really obnoxious because they get shipped in from Minneapolis. So we probably only have a few hundred, maybe a few thousand. But obviously that spreads and that just gets worse and worse and worse. So right now it's not that big of a deal. It's less than 1%. But give it 10 to 20 years and there's a million of them and it's or 20, 30, 50,000 of them, right? And it's well, now they're literally ruining 30% of what used to be a beautiful, clean city full of good people. And that's what these people are.
You got lucky. You just had to go to their front door and drop something off. I worked maintenance, sir. I couldn't imagine.
Well, and here's the thing too, and I knew, like, when I'm dropping off packages at these people's front door, it's like the kids are there, and the kids are gonna go and steal it. Like, that's just what they're gonna do. And
Yeah.
then I, the delivery driver gets in trouble for it, right? Because you get that written up on your record or something like that. Like you had 8 packages marked as not delivered, and it's like, nope, I delivered all of them. However, the ethnics in the area decided that it would be better served if they took the packages instead. Not a lot I can do about that.
There was several times where I would go into these homes, and at the end of the day, I would want to burn my tool bag.
We did have some old folks homes, but the old folks homes to me are sad for a completely different reason, because a lot of those that I would go into, they'd be so excited to see somebody from the outside, like so excited. The doors are locked from the inside, or from the, like they can't get out, right? Because they're essentially trapped in there, because they're
Yeah.
like tax cattle at that point. And like you would walk into some of these old folks' homes, and they'd be sitting around eating or whatnot, and they'd all wave, they'd all smile, they'd all ask how your day was, and they'd just be so excited to see somebody from the outside, right? Hoping that it was going to be them.
The ones that have the people locked in like prisoners.
A lot of those. I had like 12 of them on my route.
My grandfather was in one before he passed for almost a year, and you had to have a special security code to get in and out of the building. And anytime that you would go in to visit, their eyes would just light up. And it's sad because those facilities cost between $5,000 to $10,000 a month.
Oh, they're insane for what they are. Absolutely insane. But
We
it's a
paid
racket because they
$7,200 a
take
month.
they take your social security, they take every asset. You got to sign over everything to these people.
Yes, they took everything from him, and they even found out about bank accounts that he had set up 50 years ago for my dad and for my aunts. With his first wife, he set up bank accounts for them to occur and build interest, and they were supposed to go to the kids when he died, and he had to turn everything over.
Well, that's the thing. Like my grandfather died in an old folks home. It was before I was born. I never met my grandfather. And my father was the only one of his brothers and sisters that was attempting to not get him put into an old folks home. So the story goes that my grandfather Harry, which is a very interesting figure, he worked on the Manhattan Project in World War II. He was a professional baseball player as well. He was a switch pitcher, one of the few switch pitchers of all time. Very intelligent nuclear engineer, I want to say, was his technical position. He moved out to Washington State, where they had the where is that? The name of it's slipping. The nuclear facility there, Hanford. That's the one. So that's where he spent a lot of his time out there. And in his later years, he was having issues. He was very big, very aggressive. And he knew that my father knew that his father would not take well to it. He didn't take well to it. They gave him a sedative of some sort, and it ended up killing him. So
Yeah,
the old folks home ended up killing my grandfather before I could meet him. Isn't that nice?
It's very similar to what happened with my grandfather. He went in for just rehabilitation, and they had given him a sedative because he was getting a bit too angry for them. He was asking my aunt to bring him his pistol because he was not comfortable there. He felt like specifically one of the nurses felt like he was trying to kill him. And he had a bad concoction of medications that dropped his blood pressure, and he fell and hit his head, and he was never the same after that. So
yeah, so that's why none of my family members will ever go to an old folks home. It's not happening one way or the other. So, and I feel like there is an entire generation of like old Gen X young boomers that are trapped as essentially like pay piggies almost to these predatory institutions that are old folks homes. And it's tragic, and they're never going to get out. And they in a tragic way too. Some of these people abandoned their children. They didn't treat their children right, and then their children in turn abandoned them.
my grandfather's roommate was in there for over a year. We didn't see anyone come and visit him ever. And then finally, one day, the family just came and pulled him out, and he died exactly 1 week later to the day. It turns out that the state stopped paying for it. And so they said, well, we're not going to keep him there anymore. And they brought him home, and they didn't take care of him, and he died a week later. It's very sad.
Dour end of the stream. Sorry to bring it down like that. Ryan Vargas, praying for you, man. That's never fun to go through. Very sorry to hear that. I only ever met one grandparent, and it was my grandmother on my mom's side. And I met her, and then 3 days later, she died. I only ever got to meet one of my grandparents.
I was fortunate enough to not only meet and spend a lot of time with all four of mine, but my grandparents on my dad's side got divorced, so I got one extra of each, and they were wonderful people.
Moving it back real fast. Kodiak says, should I get the Geisley stripped heavy barrel 14.5 upper? Only 741 with code. 741 is a really good price. It's really about whether you want that heavy barrel, because that heavy barrel is a brick. Okay. So what is the use case for a 14.5 heavy barrel? That's what you got to ask yourself. All right. Let's get out of here, guys. All right. Sheep Herder for 5 says, these guys come out of the woodwork with their high fade haircuts and Amazon plate carriers, plate not included, and my red flag store sells out. Many such cases for these dudes. Thank you, Sheep Herder. Appreciate that. Omaba Baba became a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, sir. Boondocks Balloon Knot for 2 says, is that supposed to be a farting noise? You're disgusting. You're absolutely disgusting.
I think it's the balloon noise.
Maybe. I'm not going to try and emulate what that sounds like.
We're going to have to come over to your house and kill you. No two ways about it.
Lightspore for 2 says, quick, what did I miss in the last hour and a half? We talked about a little bit of guns and a little bit of rage bait. How about that? The first hour of the stream, that's what you want to watch. Thank you, Lightspore. Chud for 2 says, there's a reason most Napa women are obese. It's like 70-80% of black women are obese. I mean, national average is 50%, but the black community is really holding up those numbers, or I should say weighing down those numbers, both metaphorically and literally, of course. Thank you, Chud. Son of Mandalore for 2 says, typical basketball American behavior. Gibbs me dat. Most of these individuals' philosophical beliefs can be summed up in Gibbs me dat. Thank you, Son of Mandalore. Boondocks Balloon Knot for 5 says, did a whale flare check this weekend and nearly gagged from the smell of animal feces, and I think I have a decently strong stomach. Yeah. No, any Section 8 apartment that you go into that's not like new, that's not new or like really well maintained is going to be very gross. Very, very gross. Feces, all of the normal things. Chud for 2 says, total nuclear destruction. These are not things we should be dealing with. I agree. Well, I mean, they have to be dealt with, but I mean, it's just how you deal with them. That's really what we're talking about here. Cody Fisher for 10 says, good night, boys. Love you all. Christ is king. Christ is king. Thank you very much, Cody Fisher. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good night. I hope you enjoyed the stream. All right. Well, I think that is everything. Let me check and make sure that we're out over here on YouTube and Rumble, and it looks like we are. Let me go ahead and drop the Stoat link once again for everybody. I'm going to drop that in YouTube and in Rumble, so that we can build up the base over there, which again is a Discord alternative and hopefully a little bit harder hitting. And I'm also going to drop the Rumble link in the YouTube chat, because again, tomorrow we're doing a Rumble exclusive stream, so we can talk about all of the funny little happenings in the world without any of the problems that come along with YouTube. All right, Richard, what do you got going on, homie? What do you want to shout out before we leave?
Well, the one thing I want to shout out is there's going to be some GoFundMes coming up for the people who are affected by the tornado. And if you guys can, if you can afford it, pitch in $1. The couple of the communities that got hit were very, very low income, essentially the poorest of the poor. And given the demographics, I'm not sure if they'll see much relief from the way of the federal government. So,
absolutely. All right.
And
I also dropped the link for Richard's Headspace, which is his YouTube channel, in the YouTube chat and the Rumble chat. So go ahead and click on that. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No, just that. And if you guys happen to see it pop up that I'm live, hop in, say hey. Lives aren't up for very long. I'm usually in for like 30 minutes or maybe an hour. But I am going live now, so we do a little fireside chat.
Heck yeah. You know what's funny? Guys on Rumble, just to be mean, I'm going to send you over to Alex Zedra because that will make me laugh. Okay, it's not going to be nice to you, but it will make me laugh, and that's what's important right now. But, gentlemen, thank you very much for hanging out. I'm imagining the war in Ukraine, well, of course, the war in Ukraine is going to drag on, but the war in Iran is going to continue unabated for some time, so you can look forward to more of that. But in the meantime, right now, what we need to be doing here in the U.S. as good men of character is building ourselves physically, spiritually, financially, of course. We need to be building communities. We need to be getting in touch with one another, but it's also a time to prepare. Right. So it's a time to make sure we got what we need, whether that's ammo, food, gasoline, survival, friends and family. It's a time to store up. It's a time to shore up. All right. It's a time to get ready for what may or may not be happening in the future. I highly recommend you get some training in physically, some sort of combat skill, whether it's Taekwondo, whether it's wrestling, jujitsu, something like that. And as well as firearms training and other medical training and stuff like that. It's the time to lock in, okay? Like, we spend a lot of time doom scrolling. We spend a lot of time being distracted with the things of the world, and I fall into this trap as well. But it's time to get your dry fire in, get your diet locked in, get your life locked in so that you can be useful, because we all need each other here. We have a symbiotic relationship. The better you do, the better I do. The better I do, the better I can be for you. All right? So, with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless. Christ is King. Godspeed out.
I am the geek, piping sandy cheeks, patty on the slab at the Krusty Krab, flips over